I'm Joe.
I'm Lauren.
And I'm Alex.
And this is Tales from Godric's Hollow. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 357 of Tales from Godric's Hollow, the only Harry Potter podcast that even Saint Mungo's can't fix. And we are celebrating our 7-year anniversary! Wow, 7 years! I am Joe, the Dean of Tales from Godric's Hollow, one of your co-hosts, but I am not alone today. Let me bring in the rest of the crew here. First up, one of my co-hosts, the lovely Lauren.
Howdy, y'all.
Happy anniversary, Lauren.
Happy anniversary. Very excited to be here tonight.
And happy 1 year to you as well.
I know. It's flown by, to be honest. I can't believe it's already been a year.
Oh, yeah, you ain't kidding. It was such a quick year. My gosh. Holy smokes. Well, you're not the only one that's been here for exactly 1 year. Our other co-host is also here with us. He is the one and only Atari Alex.
Here I am.
What's good, Alex?
Nothing. I have been at the beach. I drove in this afternoon. I'm driving back tomorrow morning. Can't complain too much.
How was the big birthday?
It was pretty laid back, not gonna lie. When you get older and you have kids, your birthday isn't as important. So still adjusting to that a little bit.
Oh, stop,
but...
Alex. Your birthday's still important.
Okay, Joe, if you say so.
It's important.
I didn't get your card in the mail, so
I sent a tweet or an X or a post, whatever they're calling it now. I don't even know what they're calling it now. That's even better.
That's true. That's true.
Well, glad to be with you both once again for another great show ahead for us. But we're not alone because we are celebrating 7 years. We have someone else with us, also someone who all the community knows and loves. Welcome in our head boy, Brent Allen.
What's up, everybody? It is good to be back here with you, my good friends here at Tales from Godric's Hollow, and everyone out there in this amazing community.
Yes, it is going to be a great show ahead. We are all going to be sharing thoughts, reflections, fun times about 7 years of Tales from Godric's Hollow. And to be honest, we can't say anything before we thank Josh and Matt, who started this show. Without them, this show would not be here. This community wouldn't be here. So right from the top of the show, want to thank both Josh and Matt for creating this podcast, creating this community, and trusting me with the show. That was probably mistake number one. Alas, we've made it to 7 years, though. So, we're here. We're still good. We're still kicking. I think our tech is probably at the top of what we've been. We sound very crisp, I think, still, even on the show. So things have been going pretty well. But I definitely wanted to start with them. The show would not be what it is without them. So many classic moments. We've listed them time and time again. So thank you, Josh and Matt. Also want to shout out this community who is stuck with us for a long, long time. Obviously, 7 years, we're still here. But throughout all the iterations of Tales from Godric's Hollow, I know we've gotten some emails about it, but it's hard to think of another show that has had so many different host groups and the show keep on continuing on. It's pretty unique in that, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to be able to kind of carry that torch, so to speak. But we wouldn't be here without the community. The community has stuck with us all these years. You guys keep participating and supporting on Patreon and following us on our socials. So I have to thank the community. One person in particular I want to thank is our headmistress, the mysteriously haunted headmistress of Bobaton Academy. She knows who she is. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. You have no idea what it means to us that you're willing to sacrifice each month to help support us. So wanted to definitely shout you out and say thank you for that. So here we are, 7 years, guys. I know, Lauren, Alex, it's been a year for you, but you guys have been through the show since its inception. Brent, same way. What do you guys think, man? We're here. We made it. We out here.
It's amazing. In preparation for tonight's show, I kind of like scrolled through the old episode feed. I didn't have, of course, there's not enough time to re-listen to everything, but I just went and like scrolled through and I was like, oh my gosh, this really has been a thing for 7 years. And it's been such an integral part of my life for the last 7 years. Even before hosting, I mean, every week it was listen to my friends from afar talk about the thing that I enjoy more than anything else. And it's just been an incredible ride. So I'm very excited to be here tonight. It's amazing that it's 7 years. There's not a lot of podcasts that can say that. So I'm proud of us and I'm proud of you, Joe. I want to say thank you for leading this ship the last. It's really been great. So that's my first 2 cents on it.
Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, 7 years, so much has happened in my life in the last 7 years. I know everyone can say that, but like I moved states, I got married, I had kids, bought a house. Like 7 years is like a significant like slice of my life.
And I feel like we've taken that journey with you since you emailed in almost every week. We got all that. I know one
Yeah.
of people's most memorable moments was when you said that you were going to have a child on April Fool's Day. And it was just like, do we believe him? Do we not believe him? What's happening here?
Yeah, yeah, that was a fun listen for me. But yeah, I mean, it's just like as much as everything has changed, it's like Lauren said, this show has been there for me through all of it, and that's just like something. It's like a weird feeling, like to think, like, oh, Josh and Matt, these people that I've never met, like I consider them my friends, and I will speak for them. I feel like they would probably say the same thing about me, even before I was officially part of this show. And I was really, really into Harry Potter as a kid, and when I got to college and everything, not that I stopped liking it. It was just something that was not as prominent of a passion for me. And this show really reminded me what I love about the books, all the rich details and all the cool plot things that we delve into. But something that I never experienced until I was a part of this podcast was the community, and how awesome and fun everyone part of this community is. And I don't think we would still be doing this show for 7 years if there were not people out there who enjoyed listening and wrote in and interacted with us and give us feedback.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, we're here doing it, but like we're doing it for you, and you are helping us to do it too. So thank you to everybody.
Yeah, it's still fun for us. And that's one of the major reasons why we're still here. Because if it wasn't fun, we'd have to wrap up the show at some point. So anyway, thank you, Alex. Brent, you've helped this show in all of its iterations. You've seen so many different things from behind the scenes, but
Yeah.
we've also had you on a handful too. Just share what 7 years means to you as far as this Tales community and this show is concerned.
I mean, I was thinking a lot in the same lines as Alex over there of so much life has happened. I mean, all four of us are back from the original days, back when we were all listeners to the show, and like Alex, I've moved states. I haven't had any new kids. That's not happened for me. But we've had a couple job changes, a couple life situations. We've just so many different things have moved, things have come, things have gone. But this show, this community has been steady throughout. And I often wonder these days how, like, what the makeup of the community and the audience is, because I would dare say it's significantly different from back when Matt and Josh were here, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Like things grow, the show grows, the hosts change, the audience changes a little bit, and we change with it, and we go back and forth. And like, I can't think of any other situation where I would have traveled to Universal Studios and met up with a bunch of random folks that I've never ever seen before in my life and hang out with you guys for a bunch of days. And that was Joe, that was you.
Same.
Yeah, right. And you came from further than I did. I mean, yeah, it was you, Joe, and then Matt and Josh, and you know, this group, kind of what Alex was saying. My life experience has been, as you grow up, you get older, you have kids, life kind of starts revolving around the family unit and what you have there, and you don't get to spend time with friends as much. But this is a place to meet friends and be with friends and hang out with friends, and
Yeah.
you guys are my friends. And I know I'm not here every week, and that's perfectly fine. My listening, by the way, my listening of this show has not changed since the Matt and Josh days, which is usually like I'm with you for several weeks in a row, and then something happens and I'm out for several weeks in a row, and then I binge and get all caught up, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stay with it, and then I'm with you for and it just repeats on cycles. So sometimes I'm behind, sometimes I'm right there with you, sometimes I'm catching up, but it's just been it's just truly been fun. I was talking to Matt earlier today. Like, Matt and I were texting back and forth. We were working on some other things going on. Joe, you and I have conversations all the time. Alex and Lauren, we don't talk as much. We tweet quite a bit. Alex shouted out my other podcast the other day online, which, thank you for that, Alex. That was phenomenal of you. This place is just such warm, good feelings. It's, you know what it is? Tales from Godric's Hollow, it's like what it must be like to go to Hogwarts September 1 every year for the kids. Like we're just going back home.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. And we have such a fun show ahead for you guys. We got more behind the scenes stuff we're going to talk about, more memories we're going to talk about. But what I want to share with you all right now is we want you all involved too. So if you have friends that are Tales fans, share the link to the video. We're going to take questions in the chat. So chat with us. We're here. We're seeing them. We see all of you. I know Lauren's drink is getting a lot of praise on the chat right now, and I can't say I don't blame them.
It's dragon fire wine.
I mean,
I like
it.
it.
You can't miss with that. But we're going to be talking about the significance of number 7 in Harry Potter. We got a fun little thing we're doing with the wheel. The wheel is back. Calling it the Wheel of Topics. Yes, we have put together some just discussion points, some like little theories or whatnot that we weren't able to ever fit in the show. Like, it just felt out of place. So we have a bunch of them, and we're going to just spin the wheel and see which one pops up. And that's what we're going to talk about for the day. We're all basically like creating our own show right here on the spot for all of you. Also, of course, with hearing all your suggestions as well in the chat. So we got that going for us. We do have Truth or Lies that we're going to get to. Oh, yes, we will be getting to that. We may have a surprise popping in at some point during the show. Nod, nod, wink, wink. So that is something that we are going to be looking forward to as well. And we got a whole ton of emails from this community. I had kind of fished out the link to a lot of everyone that have been a part of this community in a while. So you're going to hear some emails from people that you haven't heard in years. They've emailed in to wish us well. So, yeah, we got a lot going on this show. So one of the things that I had asked everybody to prepare on this show, a very specific question, which I'm going to present right now to the rest of the hosts. And the question is, what is the most underrated, entertaining thing about the show? Most underrated, entertaining thing about the show. And what do I mean by that? I mean, not like Josh's crazy theories that he's come up with, because like that was like such a great, fun, entertaining part of the show. Everyone loves that part. Not like Truth or Lies, because yes, that has gotten a lot of praise, and the Lupin is a legitimate theory, all that stuff. I was looking for maybe something a little less significant that kind of organically cropped up and it just made you laugh. It just tickled you. So those were the kind of things that I was looking for with this particular one. So we're going to go around here in just a moment, but I want to start first with my thing. And this was a thing that happened maybe about 6 to 8 episodes. And as I've shared before, like I'm in the midst of going through the reread again. And let me just say this about the reread. I think that reread portion, this might be a little hot take here. I think the reread portion of this show is just as good as the original portion of the show with Josh and Matt. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. But I've been laughing my butt off at the reread so dang much. And like, I was a host on the show. Like, you would think I would know what happened on the shows, but a lot of times you forget what happened. So I would hold that portion and even this show up against any other Harry Potter podcast that is before us or that is currently going now that will come after. I think this show is top notch on an entertainment level. But I digress to this one thing that I'm kind of honing in on here. There was a time where what cropped up was what celebrity died on my birthday. Do you guys remember this? It was for like 6 to 8 weeks. And I don't even remember how it started. Here's what it was. There was an email that had come in. We were talking about Alan Rickman passing away. And not that it had happened on the show, but we were just talking about how that happened. And the emailer said, "Oh, Alan Rickman died on my birthday." And that, for some reason, kind of crept its like roots into certain people. And then like I went on to say like Robin Williams passed on my birthday. And Herb Brooks passed on my birthday. And then like people emailing in started sending in emails. So-and-so died on my birthday. So-and-so died on my birthday. And it was just like, what is going on right now? Like, how did this even happen? Why is this a conversation on this show? But it was, oh my God, I laughed so hard listening back on those shows. And it was maybe like a 6 to 8 episode kind of run it had. But man, was that funny. It was so dang funny. And that has to be one of the top ones for me. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what everyone else has to say. And if you're listening also right now, please throw in the chat what maybe some things that we may have forgotten that all you guys love.
Well, Joe, if I may, because if anybody else out there is like me, folks in the chat, Alex, Lauren, who died on your birthday? I just Googled it because I never knew. I never thought about it. Who died on your birthday? I'll go because I just did it. Augustus Caesar died on my birthday, along with Groucho Marx. Not in the same year, obviously, but those were two that died on my birthday. Wow. I never knew that.
Well, my birthday was yesterday, and I forget if this happened yesterday, if it was the day before and the news broke yesterday, but Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman,
Yeah,
passed
yeah.
away.
Oh.
I never
think it
watched
was
the
yesterday.
show or the movie. So not something that affected me personally, but I saw a lot of outpouring of love for him. So
Yeah.
that's one that
I
sticks
don't
out
want to
me,
turn this show
obviously.
very morbid. I don't want everyone sharing who died on their birthday. But that was just a really funny part that I remembered while listening back. But Lauren, before I jump to you for your thought, we do have a special guest in with us, and I know that I've shared that we have surprises throughout, but this one may not be one that you were thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him. Welcome back, the Muggle.
Josh!
It happens.
Josh!
The
What's
Muggle
up?
baby. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
Oh my God, what's up?
Miss me?
Double applause.
Hi.
Oh man.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, you were looking good, man.
Yeah, you all are.
Oh boy, I am like cheesing ear to ear right now. Josh, it is so
It's
good
so
to have you back
exciting.
on the episode. I know all these guys are shocked. I had to keep this in. I couldn't share this. Oh wait, I owe this for Josh too. Harmonica for Josh.
I had two conditions. The harmonica needed to come back, and Joe needed to keep it a complete secret until I appeared. So
Well, this is awesome.
Well done.
So excited
Well
to
done.
have you.
Yeah. Josh, let me introduce you to Lauren. Lauren, longtime community member,
hi,
current co-host.
familiar. Uh-huh.
Of course, you know Alex.
I'm vaguely familiar.
Vaguely or vaguely? Josh, I see that you've been leaning into your Hufflepuff roots a little bit. You've started like building greenhouses, and you got this like plant library going on.
It was
I'm
bound
sure
to happen, right?
Well,
Right,
yeah,
right.
his kids are all leaving the house now. He's got time.
It's
And
true.
more money and expendable. Well, maybe not. I don't know. More,
No. College is expensive, Brent.
fair.
Yeah.
Oh man, so I'm sure the community is just as shocked as Alex, Lauren, and Brent are right now. Just give us a quick update. Josh, what's going on? How you been?
Oh boy, where do I start?
It's been over 2 years since you've been
Yeah.
on a Tales show, so it's
Yeah.
been a very long time, and man, I am so happy to have you back on. It's great to hear your voice again. But
It's nice to be
I'll
here.
let you. I'll let you talk for a second here.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, everything's pretty much normal. You know, I was doing a podcast with my friend Jason, the Castle Vault. Everybody's probably familiar with. That is on a very long hiatus because he decided to have a child and become a father.
Listen. I know the feeling. I know,
You're a father too?
No, my co-host had a
I was gonna say,
baby.
how much did I miss? Holy cow. Yeah, I mean,
I have 8 kids now, Josh. Let me tell you.
It's been a long 2 years. Yeah, I mean, I told him, you know, it's totally okay to be a parent and a podcaster at the same time, but he didn't believe me. So, you know, that's been on hold. So I haven't really podcasted at all since like September, I think is when we called a break. So it's been a while. personally, I guess everything is as well as it can be for me. Still at the same job. Still enjoying life as much as possible. Like Joe alluded to, we have, or Brent, kids moving out. Chase, Val's oldest, he's moving out at the end of the year. Kaylee, the 18-year-old, she just graduated high school and got her AA degree from the Running Start program with the community college. And she's going off to college next Saturday. We drive her 6 hours away to drop her off.
Wow.
So yeah, we're running out of kids. Which means
that's a good and a bad thing, but
yeah.
A lot of good things. You know,
it
gotta
is.
spread your wings to fly, right?
Exactly. So it's good that we're not losing them for horrible reasons. They're growing up and becoming their own people, which is fun to see. Val graduated last year, and now she's going to be entering a master's program at another university here in September, which is mostly virtual, which is good for her. But I mean, there goes all her free time. So, I'm just kicking back, growing plants, watching the Astros cheat in baseball, like all the basic things, just the normal stuff, watching a lot of wrestling. Yeah, I mean, nothing really to report. Like, I wish I had like a super exciting life. It's just kind of been status quo around here. So bought a house. Have we talked since I bought a house?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, Val and I bought a house September 21. So coming up on 2 years. So if I haven't been on in 2 years, then this is the first time I guess I've been on the show in this new house. So yeah, we bought a house.
Everyone's calling for Val's Trelawney voice. You can let her know. I don't know if Val's jumping on the show tonight.
No, she's not. No.
Yeah. I kind of figured, but
yeah,
the community has not forgotten.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, I guess. Everything's well. I've missed talking to everybody, and that was the driving force for coming on tonight when Joe reached out with a very sincere, honest text that had nothing to do with me coming on the show. But I'm like, if there's ever a chance to invite myself onto an episode, this is the one. So
yeah, and again, as I said, we're loving having you here as a part of this show. I know it's a big shock for everybody. I didn't advertise it. I kept my mouth shut, thankfully, and we were able to pull this off. So kudos to all of us. Yeah. And here we are celebrating 7 years.
Josh, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So for a while you were doing the show, there were the books and the movies and stuff. And when you got out of that, you've been in all the Disney things. You've sort of been in hiatus. I know you've talked about the plants and things like that, but what are you doing like on a fandom level these days? Like, is there anything you're kind of into that's new for Josh?
Well, like I said, a lot of wrestling. Wrestling's never been hotter. Joe would agree with that. So, but I mean, that's not a new thing. It turns out owning a house is a lot of work. I don't know if anybody can relate.
That's his new fandom. He's watching how to build out your house renovations on YouTube.
I mean, thankfully, I mean, the house that we bought was not like a fixer upper. It was kept in very well condition. So there wasn't a lot of things that had to be done when we moved in, but since then it's like, well, like, let's make it our home. And so we completely have redone most of the landscaping around the entire property. I've built a gazebo, I've built a greenhouse, you name it, I've done it. Thankfully with my job, like, I'm fairly handy when it comes to stuff anyway, so now I'm just like
that helps out a lot.
Transitioning that, my day-to-day work into here's my free time work. So, after hours, I'm working at the house a lot. But like fandom, I got really into sneakers. So like, I'm like a very low-key sneakerhead now, I guess, which is an expensive hobby. I don't recommend anybody getting into that.
There are a
Yeah,
lot of those that are expensive hobbies.
yeah, that's true. But like no other real like fandoms, I would say. Like if anything, I've kind of just stepped back from a lot of entertainment properties and
Sure.
pop culture to an extent. I mean, I still enjoy things and whatnot, but you know, you get busy doing other things and then you just find you don't have time for that kind of stuff. So
The Muggle's grown up.
it's bound to happen. Yeah.
It'll never happen. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Josh, I know you wanted to surprise all of us on here, but I have a little surprise for you.
Hi,
Ah,
everybody.
what's
Look,
up?
the boss is
Hi.
in the hizzy.
Hey.
Hi, Marissa.
Boss,
Hi.
what's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. The mom thing is a fantastic time, but I miss podcasting, but I miss all you guys.
Yeah, we got platinum trios and golden trios all combining. There's just so many trios happening right now.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Oh.
The multiverse of podcasters here.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
We're gonna break the space-time continuum at this point.
Well, Josh, I do have a question for you also, since it is 7 years. I know when you started the show, I'm sure you didn't have a set end to it in your head, but like, can you believe the show is still going on? Like, did you trust me enough to be able to carry this show like at least 7 years and beyond? Like, was that a thing for you, or was it like, oh, as soon as Joke takes it, it's going under in like a year? It's
I trusted you to never want to let it go. Like it wasn't that it would crash and burn, it's you would never let it die.
That's fair.
Ain't that true?
And I mean, Alex is always down for a good time, and if anybody could be talked into being a podcast co-host, it was going to be Alex. So like
It didn't take much. It was
Yeah.
just like, hey, you want to do this?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay, good.
Yeah, and you got Lauren and Brent still around. Like everybody, like you had such a good collection of people that were willing to keep it going. That I mean, I when I left, I never doubted that it would continue on. Could I sit here and say that when I started it with Matt 7 years ago, that either one of us would have predicted it would still be going on in 7 years? No, absolutely not. I mean, I was ready to call it in after the first book. I mean, let's be real, you know. So I mean, the fact that it's here 7 years later is a testament to you all and the community, and nothing to do with me.
You played a major part. Don't.
No, I was just a dumb muggle.
That everyone loved.
Everyone will, yeah, exactly. Everybody absolutely loved you, and that's what got people hooked, was you and all the things that you would talk about, and your theories were a big part of what kept people intrigued. Even the second time through, when you forgot everything,
Yeah, you
and
forgot.
then and then made new predictions. We're like, you already know what happens. You're like, do I though? Do I?
There's a part of me that thinks Joe has a quiz ready to see how much I remember.
No.
Okay.
I'm trying
He
to
was scared.
keep you on the show for as long as possible, not throw you off. We do have some other things to get to, but I know, Marissa, your time is a little limited, so I do want to get your thoughts. You've been off the show for officially a year now, taking care of baby Vader. So I know you. I know.
I
You said
often forget that you used to call Leon Vader, and it might have been mentioned like on the podcast a couple of times, and it made me laugh every time.
Yeah, no, I did. I'd throw that into the one of the more underrated, entertaining things of the show, which is kind of like what I started.
Yeah.
This part of the show on.
Mm-hmm.
So Marissa, you could talk about your favorite, most underrated part of the show, or just Tales in general. I'll let you have the floor for a little bit.
Yeah, everyone knows my story about how, I randomly found the podcast and started listening and, became friends with everybody. And then when Matt was leaving, Josh was like, "Hey, you wanna be a co-host?" And I was like, "For sure." So everybody knows all of that.
I listened back and I heard that, and I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this was like an inside joke between you guys or something, but
probably. Sorry, go
Marissa,
ahead.
you said that like you ate 5
I did.
something, and you sent that to Josh as a reason why you should make him your co-host.
Did
I forget. I forget what it was. It was just a very sugary thing, and it was just
5
like,
apple fritters.
yes, that's what it was. 5 apple. I can eat 5 apple fritters.
Mhm.
You have to have me on as a host.
It's probably an email that I sent at some point. Yes.
And I was just like, wait a minute. Did that actually happen? Because I'm listening back on this.
I mean, I
I'm
never
like,
saw it happen personally, but I took her word for it.
I was just like, shoot, like that's all she had to do.
Why would I make that up? What would be the point?
Because
of
it
making
seems
up-
ridiculous. And Josh is like, yep, we need you. That's why. 5 apple fritters.
I haven't even eaten an apple fritter to this day after that, so it is what it is. Anyway.
PTSD.
Right. Every time I see one, Leon and I are out together and he'll see an apple fritter and he'll point to it. I'll be like, don't play these games with me. We're not doing this.
We're not about that
Anywho.
life anymore.
No,
No.
I've given up. I've given all of that.
Wait, you've given up apple fritters?
Yes.
Okay.
I ate 5 in one day, woke up the next day feeling like I was hungover. It was not a good feeling.
But it changed your life forever.
It
All
did.
things in moderation. Marissa.
Yes, I didn't do it in moderation, so it ruined me forever.
But you were able to co-host a podcast because
I
of
was
it. So
able
there
to
you
still
go.
do it. I don't know how I stayed up until 1-2 a.m. Podcasting with the two of you guys, because I can't stay up past like 11 p.m. anymore.
I mean, let's be fair. We brought a lot of energy.
That's one word you could use for it.
Fair, yeah.
We drank coffee. Well, I did.
So did I.
I know Muggle was anti-coffee, but
Still.
pro cocoa.
Yeah.
Pro cocoa.
Listening back to, because I started to re-listen, I was like, oh yeah, they really did not like coffee. Him and Matt. I was surprised. They don't know what to talk about. Anyway, the question was my favorite underrated part of Tales. Well, I know Brent loves the food debates.
Oh yeah.
I liked those. It's really hard to say what my favorite part of it was. It's just I got to talk about Harry Potter, a thing I love, with two guys that I came to consider to be almost like family. And yes, waffles are still better than pancakes. Let's be honest.
100%.
Let's not mince words here. And we
don't
all know how
burn the
Alex feels
bacon.
that French toast is better, even though it's completely different.
It's a completely
Section.
different thing.
Alex is on my side.
No.
I will have you know, Alex, I had stuffed French toast last week while my in-laws were in town, and it was pretty delicious.
Well,
I'll
of
say
course
that.
it was.
The proper hierarchy of syrup covered breakfast foods is in fact French toast, waffles, and then pancakes. So,
See, I think that's completely false. I've had some really, really bad French toast. And I've had
but
some
you've never had a
really
bad waffle?
Amazing. No,
Have you
I've
ever-
never had a bad waffle. They're
I don't
all
believe you.
good.
No.
Here we go
Every
again.
waffle I've ever had.
Why did you start this again? You did this on purpose, Joe, to be honest.
I said we don't want to bring that one up.
Sure. we
Josh
know.
is
That's one
like,
we
this
didn't
is
wanna
why
bring up."
I left y'all. This is it right here.
I'm just here for the ride. Don't mind me.
I will still stand, since we're on the topic of food, I will still stand behind there shouldn't be nuts in baked goods. Still on that train.
Still true.
Carrot cake is
Oh, I
awful
agree.
still.
Mhm.
And I think was that the last
that
food
was-
debate we had?
No, Marissa, I
That
have a
was a
question
great
for
one.
you. Marissa, I have a question for you. What was the weirdest food craving you had during your pregnancy?
I didn't really have any weird food cravings. Weird. I didn't have any weird food cravings. I craved popcorn a lot. And one day I came home from work and went to make popcorn in the air popper, and it was broken, and I almost cried.
Oh no.
But then I ended up finding out how to make it on the stovetop, and it was way better anyway. So
Game changer.
my life was saved. Well, Leon's life was saved because I probably would have freaked out had I not had my popcorn. But so there wasn't anything real weird, just the popcorn thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, Lauren. But did you have something else to go, Marissa?
I also just wanted to bring up that at one point Josh accused Hermione Granger of being the reason that Cedric Diggory died.
Oh my God! You know what? I had that. We went through several weeks actually of blaming multiple people for Cedric's death for the weirdest, most random things throughout our reread of Goblet of Fire. It was just like, oh, so it was really so and so's fault that Cedric's dead. And we had to have blamed about 5 different people. I think Neville was on the list.
He blamed Hermione at the end of Prisoner of Azkaban because he was like, well, Hermione told Harry not to let them kill Peter, and I was like, no, she didn't say a word. He was like, well, then it's Harry's
She implied
fault.
it.
Yeah, that's what you said back then too. You haven't changed.
I'm consistent, if anything.
That's true. But anyway.
Before we had all these special guests jump on, I did pose the question to you, Lauren, so I do quickly want to hear yours, and then Alex, we haven't gotten to yours yet either, so definitely want to hear from both of you.
Well, for mine, we've already kind of touched on a few of the things that I just absolutely love. I love the food debates, and just any of the I know, Brent, they were good. They were funny. At one point I was driving like an hour to and from work every day, and those food debates just kept me, laughing and excited when I was driving. It was great. I also, not underrated, but love the Muggle theories back in the first read through. So Josh, glad you're here because those were just amazing to listen to you just talk through some crazy idea you had. And then some of them landed, and that was even weirder.
The payoff for some of those is unreal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then, but one that I wrote down that I don't know that anyone else will have is during the first read through, at the end of each book, y'all did the movie and y'all had the movie episodes. And it was really the first time that I had looked at the movies that intently and watched them that intently. And it gave me a better appreciation for the movies in general. And so I think those were underrated episodes because we talk a lot about the books and the reread and all of that, but y'all's discussion about the movies and delving into those things were some of my favorites back in those days. And I really enjoyed the live tweeting that you would do during the movies. I would sit down with my own popcorn and the movie and Twitter up on my computer and watch you tweet as the movie went on. And it was just... It was so much fun. So that was my underrated favorite from that first read through.
Very cool. Alex, you've obviously been with us for a long time. You've
Too long.
Created some of them yourself. So what's something that you take away from this Tales history here?
I don't have like a great answer to this. Honestly, I forgot to sit down and try and come up with something great. So my best answer off the dome, Marissa, please forgive me. Every time Joe plays that I don't know anything button, I just crack up. It is so funny to me. It never gets old.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
It's my legacy.
I don't know anything.
That's it right there.
It's nothing against you personally because I respect you so much, but it's just because it's so out of context.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's great.
I've always
After-
wanted hotkeys, and now I got them.
After being brought on and being told from, Josh that I was the Harry Potter encyclopedia, to now my legacy being that I don't know anything is perfect. It's full circle.
You know what was funny? Because being the Ravenclaw and being this human encyclopedia of Potter and just having all the knowledge, and then you had trouble with math, and then you were having when we were doing the Mad Libs, and you couldn't remember.
I didn't know what an adjective was.
What about that? Oh my
I
god!
was just like, wait a minute, she doesn't know math, she doesn't know English, and she's the Ravenclaw. What's happening here?
I'm still embarrassed. I got secondhand embarrassment for myself listening back to that. I was like, how I was ashamed. That's what it was.
We've all been there. Don't you worry.
Thanks.
Well, the show is off the rails. We've completely run amok, but we do have a format. I got notes that.
Sorry. My husband is watching right now, and he told me that I need to correct myself because apparently I have had an apple fritter since then.
Oh, okay.
Apparently I did.
There we go. Leon
keeping me honest.
Throw it down. There we go. I appreciate you.
He goes, don't lie. You've had an apple fritter. I go, when? I don't remember this.
You know what time?
He's
Beta
keeping
time.
notes.
Of
It's
course
beta
it is.
time.
Oh boy.
Let's go. We
right.
do have a July giveaway to get to. I do want to announce we've been doing it all throughout the month of July, and we were going to give away a house-specific decorative goblet. This inspired by us being in Major Moments, Goblet of Fire. So winner that I'm about to announce in a few short moments here, I do need your house. So make sure you email us or we'll get a hold of you.
This is a Goblet Sans Fire, correct?
Yes, that. Okay. The winner of this giveaway for the month of July is Ellen. So congratulations, Ellen. You are the winner. You get your very own goblet. It could be house specific, or if you want just a normal Hogwarts goblet, they have that version too. So I'll get in touch with you. You let me know what you want, and we're going to get it out to you. Moving forward here, being that this is our 7th anniversary, I thought it would be fun to go through some of the significances of the number 7 in Harry Potter, since 7 is quote unquote the most magical number. So I want to run through these real quickly here. And yeah, it does come up a lot. Not going to lie. So there are 7 books in the series. 7 years at Hogwarts. Harry was born at the end of the 7th month. There are 7 different core classes at Hogwarts. Charms, Transfiguration, Defense Against Dark Arts, Potions, Herbology, History of Magic, and Astronomy. 7 known spell types. Transfiguration, Charm, Jinx, Hex, Curse, Counterspell, and Healing Spell. This is not from me, by the way. So if you're going to fact check me, this you talk to those who run wizardingworld.com. Ahem. 7 galleons for a wand, specifically Harry's, which, mind you, they said is approximately $175. I still think there's something wrong there because I think we did the math and that didn't check out when we did that before.
Numbers don't make sense.
Yes, we have established this. Yeah.
On numerous occasions
inflation.
established that.
I'll look.
Say inflation.
Josh, can you guess the other 7 significant? No, I'm joking. There's 7 Weasley children, 7 floors at Hogwarts, 7 players on a Quidditch team, and Harry wore the number 7 on his jersey. There are 700,000 Quidditch, 7 obstacles guarding the Philosopher's Stone, 7 hidden passageways on the Marauders map, 7 keyholes on Moody's trunk. Harry and Ron each got 7 owls. There are 7 Horcruxes containing fragments of Voldy's soul. There were 7 Potters flying through the sky disguised as Harry during the flight of 7 Potters. 7 is the age by which experts agree magic will have revealed itself. We've had 7 different Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers, and the number 7 or 7th is mentioned throughout the series a total of 159 times. So those are all the 7s. Well, not all 159 of them, but just the top ones that I saw, because some were a little ridiculous. I'm like, are we really counting that? Come on now. Let's be real.
If we add one more person to this party, we'll have 7 people here.
This is true.
No
Alas.
such luck.
Math.
So that is the significance of number 7, and we are going into our 7th year. So hopefully that brings us a lot of magic as we steam right ahead like a Hogwarts train. But now it's time, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to spin the wheel.
I love the wheel. I'm
Love the wheel.
excited.
Okay, so here, Josh, you haven't seen this yet, but we
No,
we have a wheel now.
that's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful.
If my green screen wouldn't make it disappear. So as y'all could see on the video, there are numbers in each of the spots. Anywho, so we're gonna give this wheel a spin, and I have 12 different topics that we can possibly talk about on this show, and
Oh boy.
fate is going to decide what we discuss on this show. This is how we roll. Literally, because I'm going to be rolling this thing in just a second here. But I haven't told anybody what these are. I am the only one that knows what these topics are. Lauren and Alex did not want to know what they are, and I refused to tell Brent, even though he was begging and pleading.
Words in our mouth. You
tried.
didn't
I
ask
tried.
us if we wanted to know.
Yes, I did. I sent a text on the group chat.
Oh, I missed
Alex,
it.
Alex answered for you.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine.
Okay.
So we're going to do this thing. We are going to spin the wheel here. I have all the numbers situated with all my topics here in front of me. So we're going to give this a spin. Oh, we got to get the sound in there because that's the most fun part. Hang on.
Surprised you just don't have that as one of your hotkeys on your Roadcaster.
All right. We got number 8, it looks like. Number 8.
I love the number 8.
That's the number that comes after 7. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, here we go. If a Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin had the sorting hat, what kind of weapon would they pull out of it? So, like, Harry pulled out the sword of Gryffindor.
This is a giveaway question at one point.
No, I don't think so.
If you were to have the sorting hat and it would have to give you
Okay,
a
but
weapon, that
that's
is
a little
exactly
different.
what the question was.
Yeah, but that's different
Sorry,
than what
it
I
was
said.
recent in my
That's
reread.
different than what I
Nobody-
said.
Listen.
Harry pulled out the sword of Gryffindor. I want to know if Ernie Mac had that hat.
It's kind
What
of
would
the
he be
best.
pulling? Would he be pulling out like Devil's Snare, and like choke the basilisk to death? like what would he be pulling out?
Okay,
What would
here's my
Draco pull out?
answer for Slytherin. You know that meme where it's like call an ambulance and then he pulls out a gun and he says, "But not for me."
Yes.
That's what I'm picturing a Slytherin doing. He just pulls out a Glock.
That is pretty funny.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, I think a Ravenclaw, the easy answer would be they pull out a really massive book.
That they'll just hit you over the head
They'll
with.
throw it at you.
Right, exactly,
Yep.
exactly. Blunt force trauma.
It would be
I mean, the pen
it would
is
be
mightier than the sword, right?
Hufflepuffs will pull out a cake and they can share because everybody loves cake.
Oh, it makes everybody happy.
See,
true.
exactly, exactly. See, I've always kind of thought that Slytherins would actually also pull out the sword of Gryffindor, just cause. Like,
Help will always be given at Hogwarts
To those that ask for it.
to those
I don't
that
care who it came from.
deserve
Just give me a
it.
dang sword. Speaking of which,
deserve-
I have a sword of Gryffindor downstairs in my house, and
Yeah, you bought that at a LeakyCon one time with
did.
Jude, right?
and it's actually got an edge on it, like it's got a sharp edge on it, and one morning
Uh-oh.
Jude heard my son, my 10-year-old son at the time. He hears this noise outside. It turns out it was some cats doing cat things. But yeah, I look up and
McGonagall?
here he is going through the house in his underwear, and he's got this sword.
He was ready to defend.
He's ready to defend
He went
the
to
manor.
take out Mrs. Norris with the sword of Gryffindor? Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yep. He was ready to go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow. I can't wait for that to happen with me with my son.
Only in Florida.
You're gonna see Jude battling a gator with the sword of Gryffindor. Stay out of my garbage cans! Watcha!
Oh boy.
Florida boy stabs gator with Harry Potter replica sword.
In underwear.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Do we have any other thoughts for like a Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw or Slytherin? Anything else we could think of? I like the Devil's Snare for the Hufflepuff. Or it might pull out like a cupcake and be like peace offering.
Right, the cake.
Like that feels like a thing. Nope, we're all done. We're all tapped out.
Show's over.
Those
Wrap
of
it
you
up.
in the community, if you have answers to these questions too, feel free to write in the chat, and we'll display your little answer up here on the board as such. I got Lauren all over it. All right, we'll move on. We got a couple more spins that we can make and other things that we can get to here on the show. So let's bring the wheel back over. Hang on.
While it's spinning, Kate does have an answer in the chat that the Slytherin would pull out a mirror and freeze up the basilisk. So,
Oh,
I guess we never did talk about that. Like, if the basilisk sees itself, does it kill itself? Or petrify itself?
I'm going with no.
I would think
Yeah.
not.
I feel like that's
That's a
cheating.
lot.
But at the same time, I mean, Hermione saw it in a mirror, and she didn't die, but she was still petrified.
Right.
She was afraid first.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm glad some of you got that.
Yeah.
The jokes will always remain dad jokes here on Tales from Godric's Hollow. That's one thing for sure. Oh, I had the dumbest joke ever during one of the reread episodes. We were talking about what you call the Durmstrang ship. Do you guys remember this? It was like, what do you call the Durmstrang ship? And I was like, loaf, because it's carrying the crumb. Victor
Oh,
Crumb.
God.
Yeah, that's about the reaction it got the first time he told that joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I don't even need your laughter anymore. Look at how loud that is.
I love it.
Oh man, that was good. Anyway, we
Joe's
landed on
over
number
here popping the
10.
crowd.
We got number 10. We're moving on here. Ooh, this is the Tales one. So this will be good. Any of you ever host a Tales from Godric's Hollow episode before? All right, all of you, great. All right, good. You should probably have an answer to this. What was the most controversial thing to ever happen on Tales from Godric's Hollow? Controversial.
Can we take the whole food debate off?
Yes,
off
take
the
it off the table.
Yeah, that one doesn't count. You don't get to say that one.
I feel like that's fake controversy. I mean, like real, like the real nitty gritty stuff.
Personally, I think the fact that I disagree wholeheartedly about how terrible Cursed Child is the biggest controversy I've had with my old co-hosts.
No, just
They
one.
both love it,
Ju-
and I hate it.
Yeah, you're still wrong
Horrible.
about it, by the way.
I still have to reread it. And yes, Alex, I was supposed to reread it like back when Josh was on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That never happened. It's gonna happen. I promise.
Yep, that was mine. Just popped up in the chat there. That was gonna.
Yep. That
And
too.
I never said toxic. I never
Can't
said
wait to get to
toxic.
that episode.
So this is like the weird game of telephone that had happened, and it was just like, how dare you say they were toxic? I'm like, I didn't use that word. I never used that word. Anyway, that one was gonna be mine, and then there was also we had a few emails after me and Marissa went back and forth a few times on some of our thoughts, and people actually thought me and Marissa hated each other at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Like hated it. They really thought we had an issue with each other. And we're like behind the scenes, we're laughing at these emails coming in and these like messages on Facebook that are coming in.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember someone had
are
like
you guys okay?
yeah,
like-
somebody had like messaged or commented on our Facebook and was like, it's really uncomfortable to hear you guys argue the way you do. It was like we're not being serious, not really trying to hurt each other. We're just debating. So
It is amazing what and I'm gonna get to say this because I don't think too many of my listeners over at my podcast are listening here. It is amazing how serious sometimes listeners take podcast hosts as being when maybe you're being partly serious, but maybe you're just sort of you're exaggerating it, you're amping it up for the sake of the show. Like
it doesn't always come across that
and
way.
it does not come across.
Kind of
Jeff,
like text. You
yeah,
you can't be sarcastic over text all the time either.
no. So we did an episode. We're going through Babylon 5 right now as a show, and there was like a really popular episode coming up, and it was during a season when or during a run of episodes that were not good, and we were just like, this is awful. And people were like, how dare you? And we're like, no, it's legitimately these were bad episodes. And so I said to Jeff one day, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if we did like a joke reaction video to this one episode, which is actually awesome, where we just crap on the episode the entire time and see what people do? And we said, like, we've got to go over the top. Like, this cannot be question marks as if we're serious. Like, and so we did it. And we're talking about the way somebody's teeth looks and their like just stupid stuff. People took it so seriously. They were so serious. It's like, what? Okay.
People have strong feelings about everything.
Right.
So
No, I'm sorry. Can we please put Kate's comment up right now? Because this is the one I was going.
Yeah, I had it up for a little bit.
This is the one I was going for. Was Rita Skeeter, Josh continually defending Rita to the point that, truthfully, Josh, I'm still not entirely sure where you're like, she's just a journalist. She's doing her job as a journalist. And I'm like, no,
she was doing the best she could with the information she had. I mean,
no, she was doing the worst she could with the information she had.
She was selling books and newspapers, which was her job. That's what she was doing.
Absolutely, she was. She was making that money.
See, for me, it was another thing that Josh kept harping on, was that Petunia was actually like a caring, secretly loved Harry, or whatever the phrasing was. I got like legitimately mad when he would not step off of this hill. I got like so upset. I was like, I'm going to get too worked up and I'm not going to do that. But it was like legitimately very upsetting.
I mean, honestly, it's not my fault that she was in an abusive relationship and she couldn't properly show her motherly love for Harry the way that she always wanted to.
Joe, you need to send Josh that theory from last week about Hagrid being a Death Eater, because I think you could convince him.
You know what?
Of course he is. What do you mean?
Although Josh loves Hagrid, so I don't know if I could ever turn him on that. But it was a very, very detailed.
I mean, are Death Eaters really that bad? I mean, they're just, they're a little mixed up.
Death Eater wand over here.
Death
They
Eater.
were
That's exactly what I was gonna
they
say.
were bullied.
The one with
bullied
the
in
Death
high
Eater wand.
school.
All right.
Josh, did,
So
go ahead, Lauren.
I think for mine, it's the fact that my co-hosts seem to think that Voldy would beat Harry in a duel,
Oh,
even though
gosh, here we
Voldy
go.
didn't beat Harry in a duel ever.
Harry
Ever.
Not wrong.
keeps getting
Harry
lucky.
didn't even need a wand
Ever.
to beat
Harry
Voldy in a
keeps
duel.
getting lucky. He does not have more skills than Voldemort
doesn't
at
matter.
dueling.
It
does
doesn't matter.
It does.
Voldemort did not beat him. Therefore,
Ever.
he would not beat him.
Because he didn't want
But-
to beat him.
Have you ever seen the movie Little Giants? So, Josh,
Yes.
listen.
Oh yeah.
They
Icebox.
might fight each other 100 times, and 99 times Voldemort would win. But all you need is that one time. One time. And that's what Harry got. Harry got
But
that
it was
one
more
time.
than one time.
But he got more than one time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you,
Echo.
Marissa. Thank
Shoot.
you.
Calm down. Jeez.
I can't calm down about this.
Oh, you're not.
still
You're
don't believe I got-
yeah, you're valid. Your argument's valid.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Hey.
Stealing lines. Let's go. Josh, did you have a favorite that you kind of because I know you like to work the community a little bit, work up a little frenzy. You push some buttons purposely. I do the same thing. I love it. Was there any one that stuck out to you that you just like really liked harping on? I feel like 5 of them came up, but sure.
Yeah, I mean those are all solid ones. Like honestly, anything that I knew would get a strong reaction from Alex was definitely what I was going to lead into. So, if it came down to, Harry's aunt and just, wanting to love him, or Voldy just need a hug. I mean, that's all he needed. Like this series could have been wrapped up so much quicker if somebody just reached out and said, "Hey, are you okay? Like, can we help? Like, we don't need to do this, right? Like we don't need 7 books to get to this, 8 movies. We could run this through pretty quickly. So, I mean, yes, I like to maybe live on that edge of controversy just a little bit. But mainly it was just a mess with Alex.
But it got to me too a lot of the times.
It just
on an
happened to
episode-
piss off 80% of the community as well.
Well,
we
because
would
if
be on an
everybody else-
episode, and you would be going on about these ridiculous things like Voldemort just needs a hug, which he could have asked Bellatrix for a hug at any time, and she would have happily obliged. But you would be like,
She did, and that's how she got pregnant.
well,
I was gonna say she
Fault.
asked for more than a hug.
my point is, it would get to the point where I would get so upset, and Josh would have to be like, on the episode, be like, Marissa, I'm kidding. Like, it's not that serious.
But if you guys weren't going against me at all, then
It wouldn't have been fun.
no, and Alex would have been like, well, this means nothing. But like when he hears other people getting worked up, I know he was like, oh boy, oh, here comes, like, I knew the tone of his email the moment it came in. I was like, okay, this is what kind of show it's going to be. So,
Well, see, and because I've listened to your podcast for so long, I knew that's what you were doing. I knew you were like
And you fell for it
80%
every
joking,
time.
20% serious, something like that. But it doesn't matter. It's you say some BS, and I'm gonna call you out for it.
it's fair.
Well, what's great is that the podcast is literally going across the world to many different countries, but Josh is saying something specifically to Alex.
I am that petty, yes.
Oh, that is so fantastic. I love it. Love it. Well, I originally had planned to spin the wheel at least one more time, but time is getting away from us at the moment.
Joe,
So
if I can I spin my own wheel? Because I have a question that I specifically want to hear from Josh and Marissa on, but I also want to hear from you other three as well. Can I do that?
oh yeah, sure. We'll
Okay.
we'll do that instead.
Okay, so here's the question, and take as long as you need to think about it, but go quick because I know Joe's running out of time, and you guys are too. Here's the deal: if you were the author for a day, within the books, take out the movies and other stuff, but specifically within the books, if you were the author and you could change anything about the story, anything about the books, what would you change? What would you go in and make different? How would you rewrite the story or a character moment or something like that?
I hate this question.
I love this question.
Because
I
when you
actually
change
already
one
have my
little
answer.
thing, because if you change
The-
one little thing, it changes everything.
Well, that's the thing. Like canon
Us,
can fund
canon
us.
can fund us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like
right.
you
Yeah.
change one
Right.
thing, you change so many different things. So it's just
Right,
like, oh my
right. Well,
god.
try not to think about all of that and the repercussions. Just like I would, yeah. Like here, Lauren, you said you have yours. Go ahead.
I have mine. I wouldn't change an actual event in the plot. I would
Okay.
change how it was written to
Okay.
gain more perspectives of the story. I want Ginny in Chamber of Secrets. Like I want her perspective of Ginny of Chamber of Secrets. I want Neville's perspective of Deathly Hallows. Like I want the stories that we didn't get. So I want the other perspectives from the other characters.
I
So
like
you
that a
just
lot.
want it to be written by George R.R. Martin.
Correct.
But then it would never be done.
It wouldn't, unfortunately, but that is one of the things I love about Game of Thrones is that you get to see it from so many different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're like spread out throughout an entire continent, not all in one building.
And
Yeah,
yet there's
I
like
see your
Emily.
point. I see your point.
story that we're missing.
Emily has a good one here in the chat.
Yeah.
She goes, I'd make all the math numbers distances actually accurate.
We must be miles below the school.
That would be very, very helpful. Yes. I 100% agree with you.
Like, I'll tell you something I would change. Ron and Hermione would not wind up together at the end. Like,
I mean,
I've never liked that relationship, and I don't want them together.
didn't J.K. say she would change that too?
Yep.
I think she did, but
Mhm.
that would be the thing I would be like, no, that relationship doesn't work at all.
So can my thing be Harry and Hermione dancing in a tent?
No, you said not movies. Just
That's
the
what he
books.
wants to bring into the book, I guess.
Well, yeah, I want to rewrite the book so it
Get out of here! You're dancing in a tent. Lame.
I got
that
two
You
answers.
don't want
or I'd pull in the burning of the burrow into Half-Blood Prince.
There you go. All right, Muggle, what is it? You said you have two answers.
Well, that was one of them. Joe just took it.
Yes!
Was
Rude.
The burning of the
house
burrow?
down. Yeah, burn it down.
Okay.
Far more interesting story. Second, let's just eliminate the golden snitch. Like it's such a cop out. Like stop it. Just stop it.
that's
Yeah,
fair. I think that's
I was confused about Quidditch for the longest time. I think right now I'm in the middle of our reread of Order of the Phoenix, and I'm still having questions about Quidditch. So I've been through the books multiple times, going through them with you guys, and I still don't know how Quidditch works. So maybe explaining the rules a little bit better. Yeah, going deeper into wand lore would be a good thing, like how things work.
Yeah.
The protections on the house that we never actually figured out how that works. Like maybe a little bit deeper into that stuff.
Maybe not kill Dobby.
That would have been a good one.
Especially right when you get your. How is Dobby, by the way?
Oh, he's living his best life.
There you go.
Yay.
Yeah, he's still a super anxious dog. But I mean, he's nothing to complain about. He's still healthy, moving around great. No problems. I mean, he likes the new pad. He spends a lot of time sleeping on the couch, and we have two cats now. They they don't interact much with the dogs, but yeah, no, Dobby's fine. He's good.
How old is Dobby now?
When we got him, he was estimated to be about 2.5.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought he was like a puppy when you got him.
No.
He was a rescue.
Yeah, because he's Beagle Pit, and he has the small beagle legs and the long body, so he looks like he could be a puppy. Everybody still thinks he's a puppy, like whenever they see him. So he's probably 7.5, 8 now. So yeah,
Wow.
just spry as ever. Just yeah.
Every dog I see is a puppy to me, so
Yeah, that's
it
true.
wouldn't matter.
And they're all precious.
All of them. Heart, even though, Joe has no soul because he doesn't like animals. Anyway, I think one of the things that I don't particularly enjoy about the story is how big of an oaf Hagrid is written to be. Like through like the way he talks, reading it especially the first time when you're a kid trying to read, the way Hagrid talks is rough. Because you're like, I'm not really sure what this is actually supposed to be saying. And then he tells secrets that he's not supposed to, and he makes mistakes, and he doesn't, take precautions the way he does. I think I would like him to not be as big of a, not joke, that's the wrong word, but kind of along those same lines where he's just kind of a screw up all the time, because he deserves better than to be considered the person that, let Voldemort almost take the Sorcerer's Stone and has a big old spider in the forest. I mean, he loves animals and he loves creatures and all that stuff. And he's written to be a bit of a bumbling oaf, and I don't particularly like that so much. So I would write him to be not as big an oaf, I guess.
Distinguished.
I've never heard that before, Marissa, but I immediately like it. As a guy who I cosplay Hagrid, like I love Hagrid, and I immediately am with that. Yeah,
you're a little short, aren't you?
Me? No, I'm right
me?
there, man.
No, Brett. Just joking.
I can guess Alex's. He would take away all the relationship stuff.
How are you in my brain right now? That's exactly what I was going to say.
Was that right? Was that where you were going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I sat down and really thought about it, I would come up with a better answer. But like, that was the first thing I thought. It's just take all that out of there. I don't need it.
Yeah.
But they're all in basically high school. Like that is high school.
Yeah.
It's a major part of what they go through on a day-to-day basis.
I don't need it.
And there you go. All right, our wheel of topics is complete. We are going to jump into our next segment, but before we do, the boss has to make her escape. So
I gotta go take care of my son because we
That's all
co-sleep.
good.
So
Boss, thank you
he needs
for
some help
joining
falling
us.
asleep. So
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us.
It was a lot of fun.
Giving us a little bit of your time here. Please tell the people where they can still find you if they want to check out what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I'm over on Twitter or X. So weird. X
Call it Twitter
and Instagram or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I'm over all the places at Rissaru312. Yeah, that's it, because I don't have any. I don't podcast anymore. Which is kind of sad. But it was fun to be on with you guys for a little bit, and I miss podcasting, and I miss Josh. Hearts.
Yes.
Me and Joe talk all the time, so I don't miss him that much.
See, we are friends, people. Ha
ha. All right, bye everybody.
Boss. Bye.
Bye, Marissa.
Bye.
Thank God she's got no. All right, we got another segment to jump into. An old favorite, and we're gonna do an abridged version, but gotta do it, ladies and gentlemen. Truth or lies? Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Truth or Lies, number 357, the only segment made by the community and for the community.
Number 1.
We got sounders, Josh. You hear that?
I love it. I love it so much.
Great production value. Wow. Here's number 1. We're only going to do 3 tonight because we do have a lot of emails and definitely want to get to all those. In terms of grades, outside of Albus Dumbledore, Tom Riddle was the best student to ever attend Hogwarts. Truth or lies?
I'm gonna go lie. Because when you say best ever, that's a tall order. And we don't know nearly enough of the history of the folks who've been out there. Because one, you got to look, I think you definitely have to look at Dumbledore and him being a student there. But also, who knows if there wasn't somebody in the 1400s that was just way better than he was. He just happened to get really famous and get really bad really quick and lose his nose. So
He did do that.
yes. So I'm gonna go lies just on sheer odds.
Sure.
that
So
he's
you
not the
can't
best.
give me someone else, but you're taking the others. You're taking the rest.
Yeah, I'm taking the under, I guess, on the whole deal.
You're taking the field. Voldy
Yeah.
or the field.
Yep.
I will agree with Brent for pretty much the same reasons. Just in 1,000 years of history, there's just going to be someone who did more, did it better. And yeah, just because their name is lost to history doesn't mean they didn't exist.
I will also go lies, but I have an example. Merlin attended Hogwarts. I feel like he would have beat all of them. So
Yeah, but his
Lies.
name's nowhere around there. I mean, clearly he didn't leave any sort of legacy there, right?
So
Everybody says Merlin's beard. So,
right.
That's his
Are
legacy.
you saying there's no Hogwarts legacy?
I will. There is a lot of legacy at Hogwarts where it comes to Merlin, I promise.
I believe you. I'm not going to
And
argue
if
that.
you ever feel like playing Hogwarts Legacy, you will find all the legacy.
Joe, I will say lies, only because I don't like your wording of the question.
Ooh, you've always had an issue with that.
Because I guess we're just assuming Dumbledore was the best student.
Yes.
or her. I mean,
that.
what you also have to ask what makes a good student, because you know who was
I'm
one
going
heck of a student?
academically speaking.
Yeah, you know who
Academic.
was one heck of a student? Hermione freaking Granger. And we can't take it away from her
Agreed.
just because
No.
she was in our class.
She's
so to
outside of my top 10, so it's fine.
speak. Mm.
Yeah, I almost used that as a most debated or contentious topic too, because that was
Did Tom
And
Riddle
still
go
is
time
ridiculous.
hopping just so he could take more classes? No, he did not.
Because he didn't have to.
There were only 3
Didn't-
classes.
Didn't Percy earn more owls than Hermione did? Doesn't that
Did he?
make him a better student?
Did
Quote
he?
unquote.
Yeah, I'm
we
pretty sure
actually
he did.
got that in
Uh,
the chat real quick. What
Listen,
about
Lauren,
Percy?
Lauren, you're the
I brought
teacher
that
here.
up.
Does somebody scoring higher on a test make them a better student?
A better student or a better learner?
The question is student. Does it make them a
I
better
think-
student?
I mean, in my opinion, no, but I
Mm.
think the way our
She just doesn't want to say
system
Voldemort.
is
That's
set
why.
up. I still have already said Merlin, so I think Merlin beats Voldy.
Not in a duel, though.
Hagrid left early, so we don't know what that road could have led to.
Truth.
I would just say, like, some people maybe their potential was cut short.
Newt also left early, so you never
Mhm.
know.
Well,
He was
I'm
so
going-
good, he didn't even need the school.
So did the Weasley twins.
That's true too.
Yeah. Well, I think this
Yeah,
is
but they
true.
died.
Yeah. Well, one of them did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, when one died, they both died. So
Mm.
they were never the same. All right, let's
This
move
just
on
took a
here.
morbid turn.
'Cause now it was he.
Listen, we were talking about celebrity deaths earlier today too, so it just a lot of death talk on our 7-year anniversary show.
Number 2.
Oh, wait a minute, and it continues. Sirius was the first person to get to Godric's Hollow after Voldemort killed James and Lily. Truth or lies?
What wasn't it Hagrid? Like, isn't that actually established that it was Hagrid?
Hagrid ended up with Harry,
Hmm.
and correct me, is this headcanon or is this some kind of fanfic? But didn't Sirius want to take Harry, and Hagrid had to be like, no, Dumbledore gave me strict orders to get him?
Lauren's reaching for the book.
No,
That-
I believe that Hagrid says that in book 3 when Harry's in the invisibility cloak and he overhears them talking about it.
Okay, so I didn't make that up.
That's what
Brain's
I'm
still
looking up
ticking.
right now.
Kate says Snape was the first one.
So according to the movies, yes.
That's a movieism.
Yeah.
It is still a valid answer, though, if you so choose it to be, Kate.
I'm gonna go lies. I think Hagrid was there first.
So you went Hagrid first, and then Sirius showed up, and Hagrid's like, nope.
I trust whatever Lauren says.
Where's the boss?
I do think Sirius got there first as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm going to say truth to this, but obviously Hagrid ended up with the child, so not the cursed one, but the child.
Some would say yes. Still the cursed one.
You're right. Some would.
Yep. Mhm.
All right, final one here.
Number 3.
You'd think it'd stop, but no, apparently not. Lupin had no idea Tonks joined the fight at the Battle of Hogwarts before his untimely death.
Sure.
I've actually always believed truth there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't.
Another sad one to think about, because if that is true, that means Lupin thinks Tonks and little Teddy are both safe at home while he's out there doing his thing, not realizing that Tonks is in the midst of all this chaos as well.
What was restate the question, please?
Lupin had no idea Tonks joined the fight at the Battle of Hogwarts before his untimely death. Because we know Tonks got there, we know Tonks was looking for him, and then the next time we kind of see both of them, they're obviously both have passed away.
He knew.
You think he knew?
Yeah. When you are that connected with somebody, you know, like you know what
they're
gonna
coming. You
do.
know they're coming.
Yeah, and just like you know what type of person they are, you know what type of situations they're going to get themselves into if need be, and you know, like he knew.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I agree with Josh. I think she went and found him, and then he said, "What are you doing here? You need to get out of here." And while they were distracted, they both got.
They both got.
Got. By the way, just so we don't let this pass, I did look it up in the book, and Hagrid says that he got there first, got Harry out of the house, and then Sirius showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So Snape is the correct answer. Okay, great.
In Hagrid, we trust.
Joe, before you move on, I have a truth or lie of my own
Oh, geez.
that we actually can definitively settle right here, right now. But this is only going to be for Joe and Lauren to answer, and it'll be clear why.
Oh, boy.
You guys ready?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Seven
Sure.
years of Tales from Godric's Hollow history. Here we go. Here is number 4.
4.
Hang on, I got it.
Number 4.
Back in the early days of Tales from Godric's Hollow, Josh and Matt would intentionally hold Alex's emails till the end,
Ooh.
even though he wasn't the one who always got them in last.
I'm gonna say lies. I think they were hoping that Alex would not be the final one in there, just so they can embarrass him and just pile on him even more and read someone else's after him. So I think lies, but I'll be interested to hear the proper answer that the Muggle will have. Lauren, what do you think?
I also was going to say lies, and I'm pretty sure there is an episode somewhere. I have no idea which one it is, where someone else beat Alex to the last email. And I clearly remember it because it like was noticeable, and everyone and Josh and Matt said, "Oh my gosh, we have an email after Alex." So I think lies.
Josh?
Well, first, Alex, did you intentionally send emails in late just to be last, or did you just send emails in when you sent them in and that just happened to be where they were?
It did get to the point where I was like trying to push it as late as possible to make sure that I was the last person because it became a thing.
Like you
but
were
no, it
tracking when
was-
they were recording so that you would send it while they're recording, right?
I mean, yeah, more or less. I knew roughly when they were trying to get going. But no, I just knew like, okay, it's Tuesday or whatever the recording day was. Let me eat my dinner and whatever. And okay, I guess I'll write an email now.
Josh, would you like to bring the truth to light of how this worked for you guys for 2.5 years or whatever it was?
You know, some could say that Alex was always the last email. Some could say that maybe his was just the last email read. Regardless of the truth, Alex was always saved for last for the entertainment value. Whether that was because of us or whether that was because of Alex doing it intentionally. Now, I never looked at the timestamps of emails. If I saw
Matt read all the emails too, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, first go around, I mean, I have no idea because that you'd have to ask Matt that. But once I started reading the emails, it felt wrong not to read his email last.
it did feel awkward, but I know because me and Marissa read the emails for the reread, and we didn't purposely save his for last. We read it as they came in.
Yeah.
And a lot of times he still ended up last, yes. But we never held his to the end.
I can clear my conscience a little bit and say that I 100% have held Atari Alex emails for the last intentionally.
I knew it.
Wow.
Wow.
The truth comes out. And
Not often. Not
shall
often.
set you free.
I will say more times than I could count, the email would come in minutes, if not seconds, before we started reading emails.
Right.
So he did have impeccable timing. But there are other times when I would be like, you know what? Alex needs to finish this one out. And that's the way it's going to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truth bombs on the show.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. I do have one more question for you guys too. Also,
Did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
I just I just had to get that hockey in there. All right. Well, there you go. Truth or lies, making history once again. We do have just emails left. We got a lot of emails to get to, so I did want to give ample time to get through all those. But before we get into that, I do see that we have about 7 people watching right now, and I do want to do a special giveaway for you guys. And we're going to do this in an old Tales style. You're going to pick a number from 1 to 100. Oh, yes. Pick a number from 1 to 100. Josh, get a number ready because you're gonna be the number picker. And
Got it.
for those of you who are in the chat, you obviously have to write in the chat your number between 1 to 100. But what I am giving away is, let's hopefully, this Dobby pin, Pin. Pin. It's a cute little Dobby pin. It's lovely. I picked it up at, I think, the Harry Potter store in New York. Very detailed, very awesome, and it could be yours. All you got to do is give us a number. So we got some numbers coming in now. I'll let that hang for another about 15 seconds or so, and then Josh, you can let me know what the number is, and we will. Brent, thanks for ruining it.
That's just my numbers don't count. That was just my prediction right there. Is all.
We got some numbers coming in. Brent is trying to predict Josh's number. Brent, you can't win this. Sorry.
Yeah, I've long been out of the running for these giveaways. So.
All right, Josh, do you have a number?
I do have a number. Yes.
Is it 7?
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the only number that made sense.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Kate nailed it. Bam. Congratulations, Kate.
Good
You
job,
are the winner
Kate.
of a Dobby pen. Pin. I said pen. No, it's pin. Pin. I have to clarify. Kate, email in the show, talesfromgodricshollow@gmail.com. Give me your address, and I will have this out to you by this weekend. Thank you so much. And now it is time for the emails. So, without any further ado, is everyone ready to go? Let's do
Ready.
it. We dance to our emails now. Oh, everyone finally gets to see this. All right, I want to first start with our email from Kristen. Hey, y'all. Happy birthday, Tales. You guys make my weeks brighter and a lot more fun. Even if Joe is wrong about waffles and Alex makes questionable top 5 picks sometimes. And even if no one understands why I picked Oliver Wood first in the draft. I will always be your biggest fan. Truth or lies? Oh. In year 7 of Tales, the hosts will unite the Hallows and finally beat Brent on a social media poll. Brent has only won 1 poll, Kristen. Come on.
Brent's only been part of 1 poll. Come on.
No, you've been a part of 2.
Oh, okay.
You lost to Lauren in the draft.
Yeah, I call shenanigans on that.
I call shenanigans on that one, too.
I
Nah,
1000% call
that was
shenanigans.
the
That was
best.
BS.
It's amazing.
Here's to a lot more years to come. Thank you, Kristen. Our next email, excuse me, comes from Jenna. Hello, Tales
Hey,
crew.
Jenna. Been a while.
Jenna, are you joining our Tales from Godric's Hollow Fantasy Football League? Let me know. We got to keep the dream alive. And anyone else who wants to join, please let us know. Hello, Tales crew. Thanks so much for 7 years of enjoyment and fun. You are doing a fantastic job, and it makes my week having something extraordinary to listen to. Keep up your great work. Jenna. Thank you,
Thanks,
Jenna.
Our next email comes in from Kate, one of the Kates. This is Kate, the candy selling Slytherin, specifically. Congratulations on 7 years. Quick note from a candy seller about the jelly bean debate from several episodes ago. Food debates continue. Jelly beans are one of the top selling candies worldwide and are related to Turkish delights. The earliest advertisement was during the Civil War in 1861 in Boston and called for people to send jelly beans to the Union troops as a way of supporting the war effort and making sure the soldiers had something other than gruel to eat. So don't knock the jelly beans.
Who's
Jelly
anti
beans
jelly
are
bean?
fantastic.
No one ever
Yeah,
said
I don't.
we
No,
don't like
no one
jelly
was
beans.
anti jelly bean. I think we were
I was gonna-
anti the specific jelly beans that Lauren likes.
I see.
She
I figured
I
it was
like
going to be
all jelly
Alex.
beans.
like the Starburst flavors and
Jolly Rancher jelly beans are the superior jelly beans.
They are very good. I like the sweet tart jelly beans the best. But
Over the Starburst jelly beans?
Starburst are
Yeah.
trash.
that's a hot take.
oh,
Yeah, you also think that all Skittles taste the same.
Yeah, they do.
Scientifically false.
If you could bring any 3 characters from what we now know as the Wizarding World franchise into our world, who would it be? I would bring in Mr. Weasley because I want to see his reaction to a fidget spinner. Snape because I think with his knowledge of potions, he would be able to make some breakthroughs in the medical field and introduce new medicine to help treat diseases and mental conditions. And Newt because of all the animals that are still being discovered. Do you guys have any people that you would want to bring in from the Wizarding World? See, I would choose Dean Thomas. By the way, I'm wearing the Dean Thomas shirt. Let me stand up a little bit here. The official one. The one that got me many different looks at LeakyCon Boston.
Mhm. There is no other shirt to wear, Joe.
It was appropriate for today, I felt.
It was, yeah.
I'd like to see Dean Thomas come in. Dursley's no. Umbridge, no. You can bring the whole trio in too. I mean, I don't know if I have anyone specific that I could think of that would make such a difference into the Muggle world. I kind of like your picks because they all have a specific reason. Mr. Weasley would be fun. I would like to hang
Yeah.
out with him for a day in the Muggle world because he would be completely fascinated with everything.
Yeah, that's probably like the best choice.
yeah, I like Mr. Weasley too.
Fred and George, they would be fun.
Crookshanks.
That
Just to
darn
see.
cat.
Yeah.
Just
See what's really
just-
going on.
Just to see.
Yeah.
Oh boy. If you could introduce any Marvel character into the Wizarding World, who would it be and why? I'd bring either Wong, Loki, or Scarlet Witch into the Wizarding World because I'd like to see them bring new knowledge of what one can do with magic into the Wizarding World.
Yeah, I just actually recently was rewatching Multiverse of Madness, and I forgot how crazy scary Wanda is in that movie. Like she's mega powerful and very
Oh, yeah.
scary.
Oh yeah.
So, she would beat Voldemort in a duel. 100%.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. She would actually be scary being brought into the Wizarding World because if she went
Yeah, I'm not.
if she went bad, all the good guys they might be in some trouble.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would bring her in.
How about Tony Stark, just so he could talk about all the wizards?
I could see him being very snarky, like, "Oh, more wizards."
It would be interesting to bring him in because I bet he could figure out a way to make technology work around magic. If he could figure out the science behind why it doesn't work, then he could create something that allowed it to work. And that would definitely help the wizarding world out.
Yeah.
That's a good call. I like that one.
Loki. Just to
Yeah,
see.
he would be good. Yeah, just like another Draco. Like, do we really need another?
Because everybody would suspect he would be Slytherin, and it would turn out that he's actually like a Hufflepuff or something, and it would really mess with people's perception of him.
Just want to sort him.
Yeah,
What does the sorting hat
pretty
say? I think Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man would be fun.
Oh, Spider-Man.
I could see him and Harry like teaming up for some odd reason. For the head boy.
I would pick Baby Groot just because he's like a little bow truckle. It'll be cute.
The giant bow truckle.
I said Baby Groot.
Yeah, but even still though, you know how small bow truckles are?
I guess. I think they're like the same size. What, like 6 inches? Like.
Oh, you mean like super baby Groot?
Yeah.
Like in the pot still.
Yeah, the one that was like
No,
dancing on the.
Even in Guardians 2, he's not that big.
He's like tiny.
Yeah.
I always saw him like 2 feet tall there.
No. He's
like toddler.
No,
Groot.
he's little.
He's like 8 inches max.
Oh, I know. I didn't see it that way. No way.
I mean, it's in the movie.
It's an illusion. Those 3D screens, they mess with your eyes.
Camera tricks, you know.
For the head boy, who happens to be a fellow Slytherin and Star Trek fan? If you could bring any Star Trek character in the Wizarding world, who would you choose and why?
Oh, Q. I'd bring Q in because Q is somewhat magical in and of himself. He is for those of you who don't know, he's kind of a godlike being who just has these powers that he can pretty much do whatever he wants, and he can bounce around time at will. And I think the scientific explanation is just any society that is far enough technologically advanced, it would look like magic, and I think that's the scientific, the sci-fi explanation of it. But effectively, he's very magical. I would love to see Q. He's also very mischievous, very, very mischievous. So, in a lot of the same ways that Josh said Loki, Q from the Star Trek world would definitely be a great fit for the Harry Potter universe.
And what about the other way around? If you could choose a wizard to go into the Star Trek universe, who do you think would be a good fit there?
Actually, I'm going to say a name that a lot of people tend to not say when they're discussing Harry Potter. Harry would be a great person to bring over, I think, into the Star Trek universe and see in the same way that he's discovering the wizarding world as he goes through, to come over into the future and everything that's going on there and have him discover and go through that the way he handles discovery process. I think he would be a really interesting character to see come over. Q is Star Trek Peeves in many ways, yes, only with much more powers and much better intentions. So
if I can answer that question, having no knowledge of Star Trek, I'd choose Mad-Eye Moody. Mad-Eye Moody in Star Trek.
Mad-Eye Moody would certainly be Alien of the Week in an episode for sure. For sure.
I'm going to butcher this name, but Kate says I'd choose either Jadzia Dax.
Yeah.
Because I think
it'd be fun.
She'd be fascinated by everything that's been accomplished because of magic. And I want to see her and Mr. Weasley discuss rubber duckies and which is a better form of travel, teleported or flu network.
Yes. That would be, I know you guys can't understand that just not knowing her character, but 1,000%. That would be, those two would be two peas in a pod having a conversation. Jadzia Dax. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would choose Khan because I'm picturing Harry like kneeling over Cedric's body and going,
he was their friend. Sorry. The other one she chose was Catherine Janeway.
Janeway. Yeah.
Because I'd love to see her and Snape debating ways to improve various potions and coming up with ideas for new potions.
I can see there is a classic clip of Janeway. She was the first female captain to lead a show. There's a great clip where she herself, being a scientist, is having this conversation with her chief engineer, and they're just bouncing ideas back and forth of how to do something, and it's like they were each like one topping each other until they got to like the answer. It was a really cool scene. I could see that happening with Snape as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Good call.
I'd have either Snape or the Weasley twins join the Star Trek world during the Dominion War because of the spying capabilities and the items the Weasley twins could invent to help with spying, but also wartime is when one needs humor and pranks the most.
I would put the Weasleys in any universe, anywhere, including the Star Trek universe, not just limited to the Dominion War. They would be fantastic mischief makers. Like they need to be right alongside Q and doing stuff with Q, because those two folks would match really well.
Ta-ta for now. Off to go sell candy and convince more people that not all Slytherin are bad.
Kate, thanks for sending me the box of candy. I really appreciated it, and it was really yummy. Thank you.
Here's to 7 more years.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Kate. We have an email from an old friend, Caitlin.
Caitlin, wow.
Yes,
Hi,
of the famed Nemeth family. Mother Deborah, yes, and the sister that used to, her sister used to write in too. Happy anniversary. Wishing you, Marissa, Josh, Matt, and everyone else all the best. It's been a while, but I have so many fond Tales from Godric's Hollow memories that got me through post 2016 and beyond. Like the predictions, Hermione time traveling, Harry's a Horcrux, and Snape having it bad for Lily, to name just a few. Although I don't read or watch Harry Potter nearly as much as I used to, and I avoid new content because of She Who Shall Not Be Named, I'm always grateful looking back to this show and the series emphasized inclusivity. Thanks, and happy 7 years of mischief and podcastery. Caitlin. Thank you so much, Caitlin, for sending in that email. All right, our next email comes in from Maria K.
Hey, Maria.
Hi, Tails team. I'm not an active member of the community anymore, but I still am following you guys, waiting for my life to stop being chaos and to come back and catch up with you. 7 years. Wow. Congratulations. You guys are definitely one of the best and more open podcasts I've ever come across. I have lots of fond memories, and I'm grateful for being a small part of the journey. One of the very memorable moments for me were the trivia quizzes. That was so much fun, especially as it was nighttime for me. Maria was in Russia, and she would do the trivia quizzes that me and Marissa used to host. And I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 in the morning for her. And we'd have her going head to head with somebody else. Like, it was so ridiculous. Another gimmick that I came up with, of course. Anywho, theories, headcanons, banter, pancakes versus waffles, Lupin is a legilimens. Hearing your thoughts on the best, most uniting book ever. It's all been wonderful. I wish you at least 7 more years. Keep it up, and I hope to join back sometime again soon. Thank you for building that community. It was all due to your hard work and awesomeness. Best, warmest wishes, Maria.
When she said the best, most uniting book, was she talking about The Cursed Child?
I think that's lumped in there. Yes.
Okay. Just confirming.
It has Harry Potter and, so it's got to be. Our next email comes in from Appy.
Hey, Abby.
Hi, Tripodcasters. Happy 7-year anniversary. 7 is a magically significant number after all, so I look forward to the episode. I would have loved to watch it live, but it's 2:30 a.m. in Scotland. Yeah, that's understandable.
Sounds like an excuse. Sounds like an excuse.
No, Josh's calling you out, Appy. I would like to thank every single host and community member in this Tales family. I have enjoyed geeking over Harry Potter with all of you. Here are some of my favorite memories. Number 1, Quirrell. 2, Lupin is a Legilimens. 3, the Quidditch draft. 4,
Wow. Okay.
my first email and first call into a live episode. I do remember that. And number 5, Joe playing the clip of the boss guessing the title of the third Fantastic Beasts movie and her reaction to it. Brent, I had you on for that one.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
That was kind of crazy. She was channeled.
Mhm.
She channeled you, Josh, when she made that prediction.
You know, I rubbed off on people.
Mhm.
I couldn't take all the magic with me and just leave, you know.
We thank you.
Yes.
From the bottom of our hearts. So many, many more that I could sit and list, but I don't want to take up too much time. If you have the time, I would love to hear your thoughts on this stuff. She has some questions. We'll go through some of them, but not all of them. What do you guys think happened to the Dementors after the war? I don't think they went back to Azkaban.
No, I think we know that they were kicked out of Azkaban.
Yeah, didn't Kingsley end up like pushing them off somewhere and like gave them?
They wouldn't have been trustworthy for Azkaban anymore.
Right. Maybe on that island with the Harry Macboons. Those two seem like they would get along real well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is worse, the Imperious Curse or a love potion? This is tough because they're both terrible.
Well, the Imperious Curse can force you to do more than just fall in love with someone. So I would say Imperious Curse.
Yeah, I think so too. But you give me two bad options, so it's hard to choose. Ooh. What magical item would you gift your co-hosts for Christmas? I know what I'd get Lauren. I would get Lauren a feather quill because I know she likes quills.
I do like quills.
See, what, I bet you thought I was going for a negative, huh? I knew it.
Thought you were gonna do something horrible.
She was like, "Okay, let me hear this. I'm getting ready to come right back at you." No, I was trying to be nice.
That was very nice. Thank you.
I don't know what I would get you guys, but I know what I wouldn't get you guys, and it would be a sneakoscope or a remember all, because that seems like the worst gift ever.
Yeah.
It glows red when you can't remember it, but it doesn't tell you what you can't remember. Like, no, that's an awful, awful gift. I know what I'd get you. Or wait, I know what I'd get Josh. I think Josh would enjoy this. I'm gonna get him a year subscription box to Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. Because you know they got that.
Either that or like the Honeydukes candy.
Yeah.
Like that's I feel it. Birdie Bots. I know you've had some history with Birdie Bots, Josh.
That's true. That's true. I'd send Alex a little gnome.
Just to bother him.
Pick it up and roll him over your head and toss it into his yard.
Just watch him chase it around in the heat.
I would send Joe an owl. He doesn't like pets, but at least it's useful.
Right. You'd make me take care of something?
It can take care of itself, but you can use it to send
that is true. It's limited care.
Yeah.
All right. I would accept that.
I think I would send everybody a case of butterbeer.
That's always a great choice too.
Always
I'll
acceptable.
need a good drink now and then.
Josh, didn't you, when you came down, didn't you take like a canister of butterbeer back with you?
No.
Are you really okay?
Yeah, I wish I did.
Matt
but
did that. That might have been Matt. Matt might have like taken a big like thermos of butterbeer.
Definitely not on our trip, but maybe another trip that he went down there to see you. He did, but
Gotcha.
yeah. yeah, that would have been the move. But
Did you ever try the hot butter beer, Josh? Oh man,
nope.
So good.
still the best.
They sell that year round now, right?
They do.
I think.
They do.
Yeah, I think they
Okay.
changed.
You
it
got to
because-
ask for it though. You,
At
like they
both
don't just have
parks?
it out. Yeah. At least here in Orlando they do. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I legitimately kept my pass to Universal an extra year or two just because like we would go down for butterbeer and then that was it.
There were a lot of owls about that. The hot butter beer is delicious. Hope you guys enjoy the episode and look forward to hearing your thoughts. Happy anniversary once again. Appy. Thank you, Appy. All right, our next email is from the OG Katie.
What's up,
OG.
Hello, it's me, the OG. In court reporting school when I first started emailing, and now an official court reporter in Minnesota. You haven't heard from me in ages.
Congratulations.
Yes, I know. We've always said our community is a lot smarter than we are, and it's true.
1,000%.
But I want to, yeah. Well, that's why we had to bring him on.
Love you, Alex.
Uh-huh.
Alex, like, get through this, please. You haven't heard from me in ages, but I want to tell you, congrats on 7 years. What an accomplishment. I'm still catching up on the pod, but still about 2 years behind. Life is busy, man. One of my favorite Tales memories is still when Josh was very intrigued by the mysterious travels with trolls and was wondering who possibly could have written it. I think I was on a bus or something and probably got some weird looks for trying not to crack up too much in public. But I'm a blind person. Weird looks have no power over me.
Is that okay to laugh at? I'm sorry.
I mean, it's a good call. Here's to another 7 years. Katie, thank you for the email.
That was a fabulous moment. Oh, this looks like a fascinating book. I wonder who wrote this book. It was epic. It was great.
Still would like to know who wrote it.
Alrighty, our next email comes in from Maria V.
Hey, Maria.
Dear Tales from Godric's Hollow. I hope this email finds you well, and I'll take the time now to congratulate all of you on your 7th year anniversary. I'll start off by admitting that it's been quite some time since I tuned into the podcast, but I wanted to take a moment to share some thoughts and feelings with you. Years ago, I was an avid listener of the show and eagerly awaited each new episode. However, when Josh announced his departure, I admit I was hesitant and concerned that the show wouldn't be the same without his unique presence and perspective. Consequently, I decided to step back from the podcast and explore other options with similar Potter virgins, as I call them, indulging us with their first time through the books. Today, nostalgia crept in, and I found myself reminiscing about the enjoyable hours I spent listening to the discussions and insights, not only from Josh or Matt, but also from Marissa, Joe, and even some faithful listeners like Alex or Brent, among others. It got me thinking about giving the podcast another chance. Shout out, Maria. I see you in the chat, too. Thank you so much for tuning in. As I'm considering re-listening, I want to express how much this show meant to me and how it played a significant role in shaping my interests and viewpoints during those early days of my podcast journey. I have found memories of the engaging content and the sense of community among the hosts and listeners. Last I tuned in, Josh was leaving, Marissa was getting married, and Alex just had a baby. I'm sure that the show has evolved since I last tuned in, but I am positive that the essence and charm that captivated me before has endured all this time. I genuinely appreciate the hard work and dedication you guys keep putting into producing this podcast, even after all these years. The impact it had on my life remains immeasurable, and I believe it's essential to acknowledge the positive influence that creators like you can have on their audience. Thank you for taking the time to read this email, and I'm looking forward to hearing what has happened with all of you, including the rest of the listening community. I'm eager to embark on this auditory journey again, hoping to be just as thrilled and inspired as I was in the past. Not sure how long it would take me to catch up to you, but hopefully it won't be that long. I see I have about 200 episodes more to go. Wishing
Easy.
you a great 7th anniversary, Maria V. Maria, thank you so much for your kind words. Like getting emails like that is like, it makes me think, like, how can a silly little podcast like this have such an impact on people? And again, it just echoes her words of what shows like this can mean to people. Our next email comes in from the Pancake King. Yo, long time no see, but I just want to say thanks for giving a nice childhood and all that lovely stuff. I have decided I'm going to start listening again. Yay. Hope you're all doing well and everything. Say hi to everyone from me. Pancake King. P.S. My favorite memory is anyone that has Joe in it. Winner!
Did you just send emails to yourself?
I was gonna say,
Yeah, no
Pancake
kidding.
King is 1,000% now confirmed to be Joe's
Listen,
burner account.
I love pancakes. I will not hesitate to say so. However, this was not me.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
Thank you,
Brent,
Pancake
one of
King.
my favorite things about the pancake waffle debate is how much you don't like it. It's really funny.
Awful. It's so bad. It's, you know how bad it is when Joe comes to my house, I will only make him waffles.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
And you know, Joe, to his credit, just sits there and is like, it's all right, not bad.
I don't hate waffles. I just like pancakes more.
So I have a funny story with pancakes and waffles. It was like a month or so ago. We were having dinner, or maybe it was either breakfast for dinner, or we were having like a late breakfast or something. I don't remember the details, but we were talking about pancakes and waffles because Val had made pancakes, and one of the kids didn't like them or something like that. I don't remember how it all played out, but basically it came down to Val saying that she always would make pancakes because she thought I love pancakes. And I was like, babe, I feel like maybe you weren't listening to the podcast enough, because that definitely was never the case. I was always team waffle, and I don't know why you would think it was like anything other than that. And she's like, well, you always make pancakes when you're making breakfast. And I'm like, yeah, when you're feeding a house full of people, it is really difficult to make one waffle at a time when everybody is sitting there waiting for food.
Yeah.
When you can make like 12 pancakes at once and call it good. So making pancakes out of convenience does not equal pancakes being better than waffles. But she had it stuck in her head that I was on team pancakes. And I'm like, well, clearly our relationship's a sham because you listened to no episodes at all.
Clearly, she's right.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was
What a gal.
wrong.
What a
Yeah,
gal that
yeah.
that Val. Heck yeah.
Josh, I just gotta tell you, I'm almost 100% positive that my wife has never listened to a single podcast I have ever done, and I am hundreds of episodes in right now between my various shows. I know you are too.
I mean, I don't care either way, but
Right.
if you say you are, and then it's clear that you don't remember anything from it, then we have the problem.
Right.
Just tell me you're not listening. Cool.
Alrighty. Our next email comes in from Declan. Hi, y'all. I stumble on the podcast once before becoming hooked. I work 6 days a week, and I'm always looking for long-form podcasts. My wife showed me the movies before reading the books, and once I started reading them, I enjoyed them even more. My favorite moment, hands down, when the Muggle nailed that Harry was the final Horcrux. Thanks, Declan in Omaha.
I mean, who didn't see that coming?
Mate.
A lot of people.
Granted, I saw the movies first.
Mhm.
Y'all know that history. All right, our next email comes in from Carol. Good day to you all. A true conversation starter is the Marauders shirt, which I won years ago from you guys. Most people stop, read it, look puzzled and confused, and say, "Are those disciples from the Bible?" Others stop, huge smiles on their faces, and they call out, "Harry Potter!" Either way, conversations begin, and I tell them about tales. Thanks, Carol. Thank you, Carol, for your email. Our next email comes in from our friend Jess.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Why is Alex so quiet? Is he always like this, or is it me?
I think it's you.
Okay,
I think
that's it.
I think the fact that we have multiple people on, I think Alex is taking the high road back there.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna say that having more people on is not part of it. Lauren and I have a problem of both waiting too long and then we start talking at the same time because we're like, okay, somebody needs to talk. I don't want to be talking all over everybody, but I mean the emails, he's on a roll. I don't want to stop him.
I'm just asking, just curious. I'll stop him every time. So I don't.
If I get to something that you guys feel like you want to comment on, feel free, please. You guys are a year in now.
Yeah, he tells us that every week.
Yeah, after that first week, I was like, you guys are a year in now. Come on.
Yeah. You're past your rookie contracts. Have you signed the long-term deals yet?
I mean, I haven't signed anything.
It's coming.
It's like a running back market. So it's peanuts over here.
Once they hit 30, they're out.
Our email from Jess. That's where it was.
Or they go down to Tampa and try to play.
Where they all go to retire, baby. It's where the greats go to retire.
Baker Mayfield. Anywho. Hello all. Longtime listener, seldom emailer. I listen to the show faithfully each week, but often get behind on my listening due to life. But I always catch back up. All that to say, I don't email in because I am behind. I love the show, and it helps keep my foot in the door when it comes to all things Harry Potter. I love the new segments. I love Alex and Lauren. You too, Joe. And just generally enjoy the show each week. My favorite episodes are the deep dives in the big moments, but the lists you have been doing have been fun as well. The theories are always fun to explore to see what actually could happen and what would never fly. When I found Tales from Godric's Hollow years and years ago, a few months after the show launched, I never thought I would be a person who emailed in, who won some prizes, or who followed a show for 7 years. But alas, you have been a constant in my life for 7 full years, and for you all, I am extremely grateful. Keep up the good work, and know there are many of us who listen each and every week. Jess. Thank you,
Thanks,
Jess.
Jess.
Appreciate that. Our next email comes in from Shirley. Surely I can't be serious. I am. Shirley says, "Happy 7-year."
Did that to your name.
Airplane. Happy 7-year anniversary, guys. Woohoo! I honestly cannot believe it's been 7 years, but time flies when you're having fun. Thank you all for the entertainment, the inquisitive thoughts you bring, and just for being there to help me and others feel not so alone. You guys make me think, make me laugh, and I hope it will never end. Thank you.
Joe won't let it.
Never. No, eventually it will end, but not right now. Our next email comes in from Adi. Hey, you. Has it really been 7 years already? Wow. I guess I'm getting old. When I found the podcast, I was starting my first job at a student position. Since then, I've graduated, got married, and had a kid. Sounds very similar to a lot of people here.
There's a lot of that going around.
Yep. I started listening to the show way back when the Muggle and the Professor did the original read through. Back then, the show gave me back the thrill of discovering the Harry Potter series and gave me a reason to reread the series. The show has changed a few hosts over the years, and of course, changed the format. Honestly, it's admirable that you were able to transform the show, keep it going for so long, keep it interesting, and preserve the community. I'm a quiet listener and no longer listen to all the episodes, but it's always a good time when I do. Happy 7th year anniversary, Adi. A Hufflepuff with Ravenclaw tendencies. Thank you, Adi, for the email.
See, Joe, that made me just think of something. Doing the read through and then the reread through, because we were like taking on like chapters at a time, like it was pertinent that people listened every single week. Like we gave them no opportunity to miss episodes because like they would miss a chunk of history. And like I'm just saying, it's a little too loosey goosey around here. Like you're just letting people come and go as they please. Like you gotta tighten it up, man.
I'm trying. That's why I had to beg and plead you to come back on.
Yeah, I mean the payment was enough, but yeah.
You got it. Anytime. Hi, Ashley. Welcome to the chat. All right, our next email comes in from Laurel. Hi, Tales crew. It's been a long time since we've chatted. Congratulations on 7 years. Obviously, the current shows are wonderful, but I've also been finding myself going back and listening to random old episodes. Just this weekend, I was listening to one from the first read-through where the Muggle made his first official Muggle theory episode. Boy, were some of the theories and predictions wild. I'll never forget the Mrs. Fig prediction. He held on to that for so long. And when the professor accidentally mentioned that Dobby died, I think the audience collectively audibly gasped.
Yeah.
Josh, you didn't hear that, did you?
No.
Like that completely glossed over you when he did that, right?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I went back and listened to that episode. I'm like, I don't even think I heard Matt talk. Like I was just so like on one particular path and train of thought that like I did not hear words at all come from him.
You know, it's funny, and I've admitted this before on the show too, so I don't mind doing it again. My first time hearing the episode, I completely missed it too. So when people started talking about this being like a moment, I'm like, wait a minute, this happened? When did this happen? I don't remember this happening. And then I had to go back and I was like, oh my God, this happened. And I was just like, how did I miss this too?
I almost drove off the highway in Houston, Texas, listening to that point. And I was like, no. I just couldn't. We had done so good at not giving you any spoilers, and I was distraught.
It all worked out. He didn't hear it.
I don't remember how I felt specifically, but I do remember like feeling Matt's like I could just like feel his heart stop when that happened.
Yeah. Because he had this nice long pause.
It was there was like a 30-second pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, well, what do I do? What do I do? And then Josh didn't say anything. It was like, I guess I just keep going. And
yeah. And I don't know if it was like intuition of his or what it was, but like the fact that we didn't do video when him and I were recording allowed him to make those small mistakes and me not pick up on him. Because if I had seen his face when he did that, Like they're definite. Like every alarm bell would have gone off like immediately. Like
Oh,
there's no way he could have held.
Matt has no poker face.
None at all.
None whatsoever. Yeah.
Yeah. So like he would have had to like just slam his laptop down and like walk away for me to like not understand what was going on. So the fact that we didn't have video and it was just audio, and it was late nights, and it was usually we'd record like right after getting home from work and doing the reading, and there's always so much going on in the evening time that like I was oblivious to probably a lot of things, and that one was like the big one that people remember. But yeah, just way over my head.
I loved Atari Alex's weekly emails, and then Joe and Marissa started popping up very frequently, so it was really nice to see them all transition into being hosts. I am unable to keep up with the podcast as frequently as I used to, but I miss everyone and always smile when I hear your voices. Mischief managed, Laurel.
Thanks, Laurel.
All right, next email comes in from our friend Dane.
What's up, Dane?
Howdy, y'all. I wish I could remember what inspired me to finally email in after listening for 180 episodes, but I'm glad I did. This show started as a fairly novel concept for a show, at least for Harry Potter, because so few people were true muggles not having any idea about the series. I still remember plenty of times listening mouth agape when Josh somehow hits on one of the deepest secrets that JK is trying to hide from the readers, yet he got it in book 2. I'm sorry to say that there are indeed other Harry Potter podcasts, but this is the only one I still listen to. Tales is the only podcast that has changed its format successfully and with a variety of amazing hosts too. I also remember listening at 2 times speed to try to catch up because you could get away with it with Josh and Matt. I don't think you could do it with 3 hosts and all the sound bites anymore. Not at 2 times, but 1.5 times for our current episodes is a good time.
Yeah, Alex talks way too much to do that.
I purposely wait. I was given like a Matt Sonnenberg just wait after dropping a Dobby clue. Still nothing. Okay. Y'all are doing great things, and I raise a butterbeer to 7 more years. Notes from last episode. I partook of the Barbenheimer craze and saw Barbie with my wife. 2 things I'll say about it. First, this might be the first movie I've seen in several years in a theater that was not a Marvel or Disney product, which was a weird experience to realize. Second, this movie may unironically be one of the best movies I've seen in a while. I also can't wait to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles either, mainly because it is a unique art style more akin to the Spider-Verse movies instead of the weird live-action CGI Disney has been doing with the remakes. Alex, I feel your pain of a new homeowner with random maintenance things taking way longer than they should. It is very frustrating. My story is when the people refilling our oil tank in the Midwest, old houses use oil as a backup heat source, overfilled it and ended up spilling it in our basement. So our house reeked of diesel for several weeks, even after they cleaned it up. It was giving my wife headaches and everything. I was a big old mess. I don't blame you. That seems very annoying.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't even know how you deal with that situation.
Why would anybody live in the Midwest?
Come to Florida. The great state, the free state of Florida. All hail the great potentate.
After listening to the Hagrid was actually a Death Eater theory, where are y'all with theories overall? Is it satisfactory enough for you to just say, it's necessary to the plot, I don't need an in-universe answer for it? Or are you tying red strings all over the plot to connect dots that may or may not be there? I like the breadcrumb approach myself. But I know that's just me. But I like a good theory if things seem to check out.
I like headcanons. I like things that take pieces but just add upon them instead of just being like all the way out there. Like Hagrid as a Death Eater is absolutely ridiculous. So that's a little far-fetched for me.
You know what's not ridiculous? Is that Dudley has latent magical ability and he could be the master of the Elder Wand.
No.
Stop it.
No.
You're still
yeah.
trying to get this to catch
No.
on. It won't happen.
Oh yeah.
Big D himself.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I like theories. I think, if it's a bad theory, it's harmless, and if it's a good theory, you can be like, oh, I will make that my new headcanon. So, as much as I didn't agree with that Hagrid is a Death Eater theory, like I really applaud that person for taking the time to write up 15 pages worth of thoughts about it. Like if anyone is that passionate about something, go for it. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot. Is it fair to assume y'all are going to do a dream casting for the series in the future? Or will it just be a casting news you can use when they release the names? No, we plan on doing something before they start casting the new series. Yeah, we plan on doing an episode discussing it.
I'm very excited for that episode.
The last we heard about it was they were going to start casting in January. I don't know if everything that's happening now with the strikes and the shutdowns, I don't know if that's pushing everything back. Lord knows we've had to deal with plenty of that with the last Potter things. So Secrets of Dumbledore took an extra 2 years to come out. You had Hogwarts Legacy got pushed back for various reasons over 2 years and such. So this will just be another thing that gets pushed back. That has to happen. So we may not have to do it at the end of this year, but we definitely plan on doing it before they announce an official cast. Man, that audio clip made me realize how much I miss hearing the Muggle's voice. The Castle Vault can come back soon enough. Well, surprise! Josh is with us. Ding, ding, ding.
I'm only doing this just to warm up for my podcast return.
Is there an official return date yet?
No, absolutely not. No. People have asked me, and I'm respecting Jason to let me know when he's ready. I don't want to push him into it. When it happens, it'll happen. But it's tough being a new dad, so I'm giving him his space. But by the time the next one happens, I mean, it's gonna be old hat, right, Alex? I mean, once you have one kid, yeah.
No, it never gets easier. It's so much worse.
It's so much worse.
Like an old pair of sweatpants, just slips right in.
Well, when they get old enough, they just start taking care of each other. Then podcast for days.
Yeah, I'm counting down the days until that happens.
You can also just simply not have children, and then you can podcast all you want.
I mean, that's a choice too.
Well, once you ring that bell, it can't be unrung.
Not with that attitude.
Dealing with the prejudices of the wizarding world, like giant politics, is something JK just drops into the world, but doesn't really get into the nitty-gritty details of it, because we are only ever really see the Malfoys act on these prejudices, but surely it is more widespread based on how Maxime responds. And I never thought about how different Maxime's backstory was. We think Hagrid is probably the rule and not the exception. But with the way with the way prejudices are, it wouldn't shock me if Maxime faced a harder time growing up. This talking about Maxime not wanting to say that she was a half giant.
Yeah.
I see your thoughts, Dane. I mean, all fair points. Thoughts for this week. 7-year Tales from Godric's Hollow anniversary. I think that name needs a little workshop, but we'll get through it. This is for me, Lauren, and Alex. What's been y'all's most fun episode, segment, bit from the last year?
I mean, obviously the Potter Watch segment.
Yeah, we didn't have a Potter Watch segment today, so Alex couldn't speak. That's it.
The
Yeah.
I
man
was-
holding them down.
I was locked and loaded. I'll just double up for next time, I guess.
Yup, you can have 5 Potter Watches next week, Alex. Go for it.
Don't tempt me, because I'll make it happen.
I know you will. Don't tempt me with a good time. I would probably have to say, I mean, I liked the wheel. I liked when we brought the wheel in for our magical March Madness tournament, not Marchical. That was a fun time. That was a 2-episode thing, and I had a lot of fun doing that and just coming up with that giant tournament and having all of you guys fill out your brackets for it. That was a lot of fun. And we definitely want to do it again this upcoming year. And we're just going to tweak some of the little situations that these fights are going to happen in.
Yeah,
I
I think
enjoyed the
I
draft.
think I enjoyed this. Yeah, the draft. I was gonna say
I
the
enjoyed the draft.
draft, the March Madness. Like I enjoyed the one-off. Just this is because this is happening elsewhere in the world. We're gonna do this, and those are fun.
Yeah, the draft was, I think, my favorite episode we've done. I hope we do another one and find a way to make it even crazier.
Yes. The key being not to have Dumbledore win. Yes. That is the plan. Have you reread any of the Harry Potter books for fun and not just for the show in the last year? And if so, which ones? I know for me, I have not. I've only done the reading for our Major Moments episodes. But I think the reason why we brought the Major Moment episodes back was because we missed the book and we wanted to get back into the books. That was the whole reasoning behind bringing that back. So I have not kind of gone off that track, just because, like everyone else, life is crazy and it's hard to find extra time to get that extra reading in. But I'm doing a bunch of other Harry Potter stuff specifically with this show that gets my Potter fill. So I'm good right now.
I reread the books at least once a year, all of them. So yes, it could be an audiobook form. Like a lot of times I'll just fall asleep listening to the books. I'll put the sleep timer on so that it doesn't just keep going through the night, but but I always read the books at least once a year. So, yes.
I don't think I've read any books in the last year,
Ever.
except for
As
No,
shown by
I've-
your
I've
Potter
read
takes.
a couple books in my life. No, while I've been on vacation, I've been reading Stephen King for the first time, which has been an interesting trip. But yeah,
It's gone.
I've been reading the Lady Hardcastle series, so yeah, no, I haven't read Harry lately. So I went through it with my kid, and like once we got through that, like because there was the reading with Josh and Matt, and then there was the reading with Josh and Joe and Marissa, and then there was the reading with my kid. Like I did like 3 full reads like that back to back to back, like in real quick succession, and yeah. Yeah. But there's as Joe said, there's this fix for that whole piece. So
All right, final one, and this is another one from, specifically for me, Lauren, and Alex. Maybe Brent, you could chime in on this too because you joined in on one of them. Which recasting was the most fun, and which was the most difficult? I think for me, the most fun was doing the Muppets one. That was our first one we did, and I really wasn't sure how that one was gonna go. So that one ended up being a lot of fun. The most difficult one was the Marvel one, though, because it was very hard to get a 1-to-1 kind of connection between the two characters. There are just not as many bad guys and not as many good guys as what Marvel is allowing. That was a tough one to do.
Yeah, my answer is the same as Joe's. I really enjoyed the Muppet one because they're so wacky. Like, they're more blank slates of characters. Like, obviously they have their own personalities within the Muppet universe, but like you can definitely adapt them more easily than Game of Thrones or Marvel characters. In the Marvel one, I think I said this when we did it, like I just so much more familiar with the Marvel characters than the Game of Thrones characters that it was a lot harder for me to try and strip away all of the elements of their characters down to like the most basic characteristics. It was not fun to try and shove them into this Harry Potter shaped box, but I did my best and I think it turned out okay.
So the hardest one for me was the Muppets one because I know nothing about Muppets. So that was quite difficult for me. The funnest one for me was, even though it was very difficult to do, the Game of Thrones one was way more fun. I didn't get to participate in the Marvel one because I was in jury duty of hell. So
Yep.
that was not fun. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Game of Thrones one. I like
like that one too.
fantasy. That's more my genre of things that I enjoy. So that hit my hot button a lot more. Do you want to answer this question, Alex?
Yes,
That was in the
yeah, I was
chat.
about to. So I'm reading a book called Skeleton Crew, which is actually a collection of short stories. I chose to read it because it contains the story The Mist, which is one of my favorite movies. I've been a big fan of that movie for a long, long time, and I never got a chance to read the story until now, and I'm enjoying it. It's pretty similar. There's some changes. I got a couple chapters left, so I don't know if they're going to end it the same way because that's probably the thing I'm most curious to see. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm enjoying his writing style, to be perfectly honest. I'm gonna read like the other stories after I'm done with The Mist because there's a whole bunch in that book. So I don't know how much he changes it from story to story or whatever. But yeah, it's weird. It's not what I was expecting from my first Stephen King experience.
Alrighty, we have our next email over here. Thank you, Dane, by the way. It's a very large rabbit trail to circle back around to this. Our next email is from Jake. Hey,
What's up,
Tales
Jake?
crew. Jake Snape, by the way. Happy anniversary, guys. 7 years is an incredible achievement for any podcast. I just wanted to say a massive thank you to you three and Brent and to all the departed crew members for the entertainment over the years. I didn't listen at the start. I only discovered the podcast in 2018 and dropped in and out before finally becoming a regular listener in late 2019. But since then, you have been a regular part of my week. Here's to the next 7 years. I can't remember if it was last week's show or an older episode that I was listening to, but the subject of the Marauders map came up, and the reasons that the twins never saw Pettigrew with Ron in the dormitories. There are loads of theories I've read over the years that try to explain this, and most don't work. The only one that makes a certain amount of sense is the theory that only the Marauders can see the other Marauders on the map. This sort of works because it's something I can imagine they'd have built into the map for their own security. Ultimately, though, I just don't buy any of the theories. I think the problem is overthought, and the simplest answer is probably the right one. Didn't think of it. That's easy. That's what it comes down to.
But I've never heard that theory before, and I like that because we never hear Harry say that he knew where any of the other Marauders are either.
Right. It's a movieism where Harry sees Pettigrew on the map, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
So in the books, Harry never sees any of the Marauders on the map.
Not that
So-
we're told.
Right.
The movie is also known as the most accurate depiction of the story.
Some would say.
Some would say.
Only only thing that comes close is Cursed Child, right, Josh?
That's right.
I just can't see any scenario in which Fred and George would be looking at the map and checking on Ron at all, let alone when he's in bed. So the simple answer is they just never saw him, which to me makes much more sense than them snooping on Ron at night. Anyway, that was just a random thought I had when I was listening that I'm taking as my new headcanon. Cheers, crew. Gryffindor out. Thank you, Jake. Our next email comes in from Julia, who, if I'm not mistaken, was in the chat with us. I don't know if she's still in the chat with us, but hello and happy 7th anniversary. I discovered Tales from Godric's Hollow shortly after Josh left and missed most of the Joe/Marissa era while I was listening to the read-throughs, but I've since become a real-time weekly listener and occasional emailer. I'm now on my second time through the reread. It's joined the ranks of things I cycle through before bed as a palate cleanser of all the true crime forensic psychology material I consume during the day. That's great. It's familiar and predictable, and even though it was chaotic at the time with Josh's sometimes spot-on, sometimes horribly inaccurate predictions, it also keeps me sharp for Harry Potter trivia when the opportunity arises. Speaking of, here are some questions we missed from the last trivia night. I'm curious if y'all know the answers to them. This will be a good test for Lauren.
Ooh.
So, Muggle, you're still
haven't
out of the
played-
you're out of the clear here.
I was just going to point out that I don't remember missing many predictions, but I mean, c'est la vie.
All right. Number 1. Who was Hermione found with when she was petrified?
Penelope Clearwater.
So the thing is, they don't write the answers in here. So even if you guessed anything, I wouldn't be able to fact check you.
Crookshanks.
I don't know the answer to that question.
No.
Number 2. What are the core and wood of Draco's wand? I know the core. I don't.
Yeah, he's Dragon Heartstring.
No, I think he's unicorn hair.
Oh, you're right. You are
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow! What up,
I
Lauren?
don't know his wood.
Where's
the
our host
wood.
trivia challenge now? Let's go. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't
know what.
I don't know the
wood.
wood. Yeah, I'm off on the wood.
Cherry.
Hawthorne, maybe.
Maybe. I'd have to look it up. What was the first password Harry learned for the Gryffindor Tower?
Caput Draconis.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Up,
I
down, down.
left, right, ABA.
Yeah.
Select AB, right, left, down, up, up.
Yep.
There's some Mortal Kombat cheat codes, by the way.
Some Contra cheat codes.
Final one here. Number 4. How many classes did Hermione take in year 3?
Total or at the end? Total?
I think in total, yeah. I guess it doesn't clarify, but I would think her regular class plus the time turning classes equals
Too many.
yes.
I think it's 12.
12. That was going to be my guess, actually. So you might be wrong because I was going to guess that.
I'm usually bad. I'm usually bad with the numbers questions because, JK is not consistent with numbers. So when they ask about numbers, I'm like, eh.
It's a Ravenclaw thing.
Oh, hang on. Julia is in the chat. She's got the answers too. So you were right about
I
Penelope.
did say Hawthorne.
Yep, Hawthorne and Unicorn Hair. So we tag team that one. Boom. Capit Draconis. Boom. And that was a yes for the final one. 12. We both got that one. Lauren gets all the praise.
Lauren wins at trivia is what happens.
I'm just saying. I got 2 1/4.
Alex didn't get any wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. You can't lose if you don't play.
One final question. If you could get the series rewritten from someone else's perspective, whose would it be? I might be influenced by where I am in the reread right now, but mine would be Romilda Vane. I love a good... Jeez, you're putting some heavy words here. I love a good Rosencrantz and Guildenstern-esque story where we get to dive into little-known characters and appreciate the richness of them as a whole person. So, do any of you have an answer for whose perspective you would love the series from?
I mean, I have the one that is my selfish answer, and then the one that's
Ginny Weasley, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selfish answer. I want Ginny's perspective, but she wasn't there for the first book, so to take a character that was there the whole time, I'd have to say Neville. I want Neville's perspective.
That would be a good one because he's a fan favorite and he was there the whole time.
It'd be so sad.
It would.
Yeah.
It would be a really.
I can one up your sad one. How about Colin Creevey? Like the page just ends during the battle.
Oh.
Joe ain't right, man.
This is what happens when you get me after midnight, people. I'm sorry.
My joke answer is Voldemort because I can imagine the first 3 books, like every chapter is just chapter 1, pain, chapter 2, more pain, chapter 3, excruciating pain. My real answer, I think, would probably be Draco.
Yeah, I was
gonna say he's another one that's good.
Yeah, he just like obviously his experience is very similar, like being at school and everything, but like I think it would be more different enough from Harry's perspective than like if we got it from Ron's or Hermione's perspectives. And I think it would give us a lot of more insight into his character.
There was an email that Matt and Josh got back, obviously way back when, that talked about Draco. And ever since his email, I've always read Draco as a very different character. But just talking about the pressure that he faced from his dad and trying to live up to this thing. And, we see him crack under that pressure and when we first meet him, he's just a little boy. He's a little boy trying to get through what he's got. And he has all this pressure, all this family stuff, weird stuff that he's just been raised to believe that, it really makes Draco a very sympathetic character. I think in the end, Josh, I don't know if you remember that email or not that I'm talking about, but
I vaguely remember the email, but it just made me think that Draco needed to find his own path and really kind of establish himself, much like Dominic Mysterio, right, Joe?
Dirty Draco.
I'm sorry. I
Well,
I gotta work it
if
in.
Draco would do to his father what Dominic would do to his, then we'd have a very different story.
That's true. That's true.
Julia goes on to write here about Ramilda. Did she ever learn that her love potion almost killed Ron? Was she an otherwise level-headed girl who let pack mentality from her friends get to her? Did she grow up to have a TED Talk warning others about the consequences of manufacturing love? Was she actually more malicious than people think she was? We see so little of her, so there's a lot still untapped. Congratulations on 7 years, and thanks for being the best, only Harry Potter podcast out there. Julia. Thank you, Julia, so much for your email. Definitely appreciate it and appreciate your support. All right. A few more emails left, and then we are finished. Next one, though, from Emily from Alaska.
From
Hey, y'all.
Alaska?
Yeah. Hey, y'all. I hope this slides in on time. You got it, Emily. No worries. This show was the first podcast I ever listened to and got me into so many more. It's wild to think that it's been 7 years. In that time, I've moved twice, had 5 surgeries, met someone and fell in love, and then married them, and I'm now pregnant. All the while, I've been listening to this show. As a community, we've all experienced others' lives like that. I am so grateful for y'all and the show and community you've made. It means so much to all of us. With lots of love, Emily from Alaska. P.S. My constant use of y'all is also due to this show. I just can't help it, and I'm okay with that. Thank
I
you,
blame
Emily.
Alex.
Blame
Josh, I dare you to listen to this show and find one time I've ever said that word. I
Every
dare
email.
you.
He can't even say the word right now. He's just that word.
Anyway,
That was-
congratulations, Emily. That's very exciting.
By the way, if you haven't been watching, the visceral reaction from Alex just then was worth going back to watching.
It's beautiful.
All right. Our next email comes in from Corey. Hello, wonderful Tales family. So I had a whole plan of writing a sentimental email thanking you for the last 7 years. Yes, I have been here from the very beginning, and writing out something special that I like about each and every host. So naturally, life got crazy and I ran out of time. I do want to thank each and every one of you, though. You have gotten me through 2 moves, a very bad breakup, a very big career change at 32. Good days and unbearable days. I have received participation gifts that, because of my horrible ex's packing skills, I lost every single one of them in the move. Uh-oh. But will still cherish forever. You were the one consistent thing every week that I look forward to. Joe, I hope you still enjoy your Hufflepuff gifts. I do. I still got them. Marissa, I hope you liked your sorting candle, and it was wonderful meeting some of you at LeakyCon. Here is to many, many more years. Thank you so much, Corey. Yeah, again, to think that we help people through issues is just like it's. I'll always laugh, and not because of the issues themselves. Just like how can we do that? But podcasting, it's an escape. And this world is easy to get lost in, this Harry Potter world. So, thank you again, Corey, for the email. And our last email, finally, from
the one and only,
our head boy, Brent.
Oh. Hey
guys, am I the last email? Did I finally beat Alex? That would be way awesome if it was. I see Alex typing right now. No. I do have one more question to ask that I honestly didn't find a place in the show to squeeze it in, so here it goes. Joe, you have long been the driving force of this podcast, the programming and the content of Tales from Godric's Hollow, especially since you aren't doing a full reread on the podcast, You have been great at coming up with topics to keep the show interesting. It can't be easy to keep coming up with the great ideas you do. Brent, to be fair, it hasn't been, but you also get in like, you just get moments of inspiration where like, I'm not like laboring hours and hours to come up with stuff, but I will start getting worried like, oh no, we're running out of stuff to talk about. And then all of a sudden it's like, bam, we could do this. I'm like, okay. So then we just start, I just start writing down everything in regards to that. And then it's like, oh no, we were running out of that. And it's like, bam, we could talk about this. Like, okay. And then that got me through like 2 months of shows. And then we finally gotten to a little flow where we have these different series now, the Canon Confunduses, the fan fires, the top 5 lists now, the rankers lists, and some of the little special episodes here and there, plus the major moment stuff. So we have a nice little fluctuation happening that we've been able to kind of keep up with for now. So my question, how far out have you planned content for the show? Do you have any upcoming ideas for the show that maybe aren't on the board just yet? Any previews for new topics or segments coming up on the show? A lot of it's more of the same that we've been doing, but we are filled out for the year for the most part, and we have plenty of leftover topics that will eventually flow into next year. We just haven't necessarily put them on the calendar in whichever week they're going to go in yet. So we have this just long list of compiled topics that we do plan on eventually either getting to, or just thoughts, ideas that, oh, we could go here. A lot of people have been asking for like character breakdowns, but I feel like every other non-existent Harry Potter podcast does those character breakdowns, and they do them really well. So I almost kind of don't want to go into character breakdowns unless we put our own little tail spin on it and do it in a different kind of way. But with that being said, some of the new stuff that we have on board, a lot of people have been asking also to potentially get into some fanfic stuff. So that might like rekindle some fan fire episodes where we take not these giant fanfics that are 100 pages long, or a complete rewrite of Deathly Hallows as we got from like a few weeks ago, where they completely rewrote the book. Like we're not going to be going into stuff like that, but if there are shorter fanfic stories, and we have actually a bunch saved up. I know we've gotten emails of suggestions in the past of fanfic. So we may eventually get going into the fanfic side for Fanfire. But other than that, we got some more top 5 fun lists coming up. We got other topics for Canon Confunduses in the bank that we're going to get to. So a lot more of the usual stuff. But the good thing is we're all also very flexible to kind of, this isn't working, we'll switch this out, or like inspiration hits us and like, you know what, I really want to do this. Okay, we'll take this episode out, we'll stick it in right there. So, and we just kind of go with the flow. And we just take the attitude of, if it's going to be fun for us, the community more than likely is going to enjoy listening to it. So that's basically how we've been rolling for the past, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months now, since the beginning of the year. And we're going to keep doing that for now. We don't have any like new major, like new themes that we're going to get into. Not currently anyway, but when the inspiration strikes, we're definitely going to get to it.
If you ever need a new segment, Joe, just throwing this out as a recommendation. I heard Counting Crows is a phenomenal way to add some time into a podcast.
Okay, I will note that. I'll add it to the book. That sounds very fun and fancy free.
Willie the Whale.
All right, this show is awesome. Thanks for letting me be a part of it, Brent, the head boy. Well, thank you, Brent. And thank you, everyone, for tuning into this show for sending in your emails. It was so great hearing from a lot of you who we haven't heard from in a minute. Thank you for being a part of this community, for still bearing with us as we go on so many different rabbit trails throughout these shows and just listen to our ridiculousness. I think the one thing that has made this show specifically great, as we said before, was the community, but having Marissa on, having Josh on now, and just rekindling that, jumping right back in that with all the new hosts. Like, I think that's the best part of what Harry Potter and the story does. It brings people together. And that is what I think I'm most thankful for these books and for this show. So thank you all so much for tuning in. If you like the show, please find us iTunes, Spotify, rate and review us 5 stars. Do all that stuff. I know our live shows run a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but I'm glad that a lot of you stuck out to watch.
It's my fault.
Yeah, whenever the Muggle comes on, we have marathon shows. That's just the rule, the unofficial rule here at Tales. Josh, thank you so much for coming on and surprising everybody with your presence, for hanging out with us, for joking around with us. We have definitely missed your voice and missed your presence. And again, this show wouldn't be here without you. So thank you so much for coming back on, jumping on for a few hours with us.
Thanks
Definitely
for allowing
appreciate
me
it.
to. You know, I miss
Open door
talking to
policy.
everybody. Yeah, I know, and I'm honestly, I just wanted to hang out with everybody for a few hours. It felt good. It was nice. I miss everybody, even Alex.
Josh, do you want to plug anything? You want to put your socials out there if anyone wants to follow you, get a hold of you, say hello?
I haven't used Twitter in a very long time. Instagram, I guess, is probably the best and only way to keep up with me. It's still the noise, NOYSE. Also have like a vegan plants Instagram. Portland Plant Daddy is that Instagram handle. So just keep up with my plant-based activities over there. But yeah, I mean, I don't post a whole lot either on any of them, but if you need to find me, you could find me.
Sounds good. Thank you again, Josh. Brent, thank you so much for coming on, celebrating with us. Always appreciate you and everything that you do for us, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and then all the last minute, hey, jump on, we need an extra voice on the show. Thank you for being a part of this show, this community. We appreciate you. You want to tell the people where they can find you at if they want to get a hold of you? Say hello. Thank you.
Sure. Always glad to be here. Always. And yeah, if you guys want to get in touch with me, you can find me at Brent Allen Live across all the social medias, and I'm starting to expand into the new social medias, the Blue Skies and the Mastodons and the whatever, although I'm not using them because it's just a lot of different places to have to put thoughts down. If you guys want to check out my current podcast, I'm doing a show called Babylon 5 for the first time, where it's me and a co-host. We're both new. We're both brand new to the show. Never seen it. It's completely unspoiled. And we're going through this 90s sci-fi show where we're trying to dig out the morals, messages, meanings, hope for the future, that sort of stuff, as we find out really the show that is responsible for the way that we do serialized TV today, way back in the 90s, before that was a thing that was being done. So if you guys join me over there, it's at Babylon 5 First. That's the number 5 and the word first. Again, across all the medias and podcatchers and all that sort of stuff out there. It's a lot of fun. Great show.
Awesome. Thank you, Bren. Lauren and Alex, I also have to thank you guys for some reason agreeing to be a co-host of mine. I know that can't be easy all the time. But you've survived a year, so some would say the worst is over. Maybe not. I don't know. But honestly, without you guys, the show would be Dunsky as well. So thank you for your willingness, your brains in giving your thoughts about Potter things and all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys, and just want to kick it to you guys to share where they can find you. So, Lauren.
Yeah, so you can find me on X and Instagram.
That will never get
Well,
easy.
I don't know. At Maeve_cleric and on Twitch at twitch.tv/Maeve_cleric. Quick upcoming plug. Might be streaming the new game Baldur's Gate 3 when it comes out coming soon on Twitch with my husband. We plan on playing it together, and y'all are going to laugh at me. We just bought a second PlayStation 5
Oh my god.
in
I still
order
haven't
to
found the first one.
in order to play the game together. So I'm probably going to stream that on Twitch like I did for Hogwarts Legacy. So more coming there.
Fun times. All right, Alex, you can finally speak. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, you can, of course, always find me on Twitter and Instagram at AtariAlex. I don't use those too much, so if you're looking for more thoughts than I gave tonight, apparently, is insufficient. Don't get your hopes up, but come back next week because maybe I will surprise you with my 5 Potter watches.
Always a highlight here on Tales.
He's serious about that too, folks.
Oh, I know. It'll probably be 8 too. Anyway. As for me, you can find me personally on Instagram or X at Custom Vinyl Lush. If you'd like to follow the show, you can do so by going to talesfromgodricshollow.com. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Tales from Godric's Hollow. You can find us on X at Tales from GH. You can find us or support us rather on Patreon, patreon.com/Tales from Godric's Hollow. You can now find us on TikTok at TFGH Show. And as always, with any and all of your emails, you can send them on over to talesfromgodricshollow@gmail.com. As for next week, we're back in Major Moments of Book 4, and we're going to talk about The Pensieve, chapter number 30. So read that, send in your emails. We're also going to be covering Salvio Hexia in the Spelio Revelio, and don't forget to send in any truth or lies questions you may have. As always, we hope you all find some magic in the week ahead. And until next time, we're sorry, or you're welcome. So long, everyone.